No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. He would like the gun. Right?
Main character. You could argue that, some could argue that the real main character of Star Wars is a stormtrooper.
The Force will be with you.
Now, your favorite pair, Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego, Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. We will have Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, the latest on the deadline. We've got a new report on Dylan Cease to share momentarily, but let's not bury the lead. It is Brent's birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Brent, who is now 25.
27?
29.
That's close.
28.
Brent, happy birthday. And if you want to wish Brent a happy birthday, you can text us 70470. Start it with the word team. Like most guys, like we're guys. You know, there's no cakes, there's no cards. We're guys.
It's just say happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, bro. It's the trade deadline. If it was a different time of year, we'd spend more time on it.
Right.
Happy birthday to Brent. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, is going to join us coming up in about 25 minutes. There is reporting as the Padres have won 3 straight, as they've come all the way back last night. Great win. It really was over the surging Mets who had won 7 straight. Great win. We'll get into it. But the latest here from The Athletic is that Dylan Cease has emerged as a primary trade target for the Astros. This, according to Chandler Rome, who covers the Astros, and also Ken Rosenthal. So Dylan Cease yesterday, a little bit of everything to the point where he was actually hit in the head by a comebacker. Had a CT scan last night. 1 million strikeouts, 1 million walks. He allowed a grand slam. He remains, polarizing figure in Padres baseball. Will he stay? Will he go? And the Astros emerging as a potential suitor as AJ Preller continues to shop this pitcher. We'll see if he stays or goes over the next 48 hours.
Yeah, and then last night's start for him started out well. But there's always that 1 or 2 moments in a game with Dylan Cease this year where it just kind of all goes haywire. Yeah. And, when he gives up that grand slam there in the 5th, you're like, here we go again. And now you're wondering, was last night Dylan Cease's last start in a Padres uniform? I thought last night's game was, taking the Dylan Cease stuff out, and we'll talk all about that. But like last night's game in particular it felt like a 2024 game. It felt like the most 2024, game of the 2025 season. We were spoiled in the second half last year watching this team with all the comebacks, all the dramatic moments, the walk-offs. You got all of that last night. Everything. The ups and downs. And this team over the last 2 years has 8 victories. You said they had 8 victories when trailing by 4 runs or more.
Most in baseball.
That is a ton. And last night after the grand slam, maybe a month ago, there is 0% chance they're winning that game. Like 0. But last night, they scratched and clawed, and then they have the big inning following the grand slam. They didn't wait. They didn't wait long at all. They had that 6-run inning, and it just, I don't know, man. It felt like last night, that game, I'm watching the 2024 team in the second half.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's 2 conversations here. The way they're playing right now on field, and then what they're going to do over the next 48 hours. And we'll discuss all of them over the next 4 hours. And like I said, Mike Ferrin, who's really good, will join us coming up at 2:30. I mean, the story that's come out in the last 30 minutes about the Astros and their owner, Jim Crane, fancying star power and looking to fortify a rotation that's been dealing with injuries, not just a rotation, but a team that's been dealing with injuries. The way this works is funny because we only see it through the prism of the Padres. We see the flaws. Like Dylan Cease, 4.79 ERA, the big innings. He hasn't looked like last year. And then on the outside, it's like we could use a pitcher like Dylan Cease. And we could use a guy that finished 4th in Cy Young voting last year. We could use a guy that finished 2nd 3 years ago. We can fix him. Houston last year, the example in this article, Yusei Kikuchi, they acquire. He had a 4.7. He came to them. He had a 2.7 ERA after the deadline. So through the prism of the Padres, it's like, do you even need Dylan Cease? And then for, possible suitors, it's like, hey, Dylan Cease is on the market. What can we do to acquire him potentially as a rental? So I think the closer we get to the deadline, there's more smoke related to Dylan Cease, and it does seem like the likeliest of possibilities on their major league roster to move may in fact be Cease.
And the way they're playing of late is, I think, going to push Preller even further in the direction that he's going. They've won 3 games in a row. They've actually played some really good baseball since they lost on Friday in St. Louis. They've won every type of way you possibly can win over the last 3 games. They've scored a bunch of runs. Their bullpen's been great, even though Robert Suarez did give up the lead last night and blow the save. So we'll see how they do against the Mets the next 2 days, and hopefully they can take at least one of the next 2. Then you're 9 games up going into the trade deadline. I mean, hell, if they ended up sweeping the Mets here, man, you feel amazing about this team. Riding a 5-game winning streak heading into the deadline. There's still question marks on this team, but overall they're playing a better brand of baseball that you wanted to see this team play. And you want to see this team play, and you just want them to be consistent with it. And I think over the last 3 games, they've won every way and every type of way you possibly could think of. Close game, blowout game, comeback victory. So they've done it all. And now we hone in on, all right, are they going to end up trading Dylan Cease? Are they going to end up potentially trading Robert Suarez? Are they going to stand pat? And I just think there are so many branches here and so many tentacles to this thing. I really have no idea where they're going to go.
I mean, based on the reporting, and to your point, it's like that they're playing well enough that, and the reporting for both Dennis Lin today, and that is referenced multiple times throughout the course of like the last 24 hours, is that if the Padres are going to move major league players off this 2025 team, it's not because they're selling off in 2025. I mean, we understand that here. They would only do it to bolster their chances. So I guess the question is, what could Houston offer or another team offer that allows you to trade Dylan Cease and stay the same or get better? I mean, it's going to free up payroll. So the payroll equation is going to be taken care of. Can you really improve your team? This is the question when they traded Juan Soto. Can you really improve your team when trading a player of the caliber of Dylan Cease? And a lot of people would tell you, well, I've watched Dylan Cease all year. You might improve your team just by taking him off your team. So that'll be an interesting part of the conversation as well. And the other point, I guess, to make just in general with what's playing out right now is just the fact that, did it even matter? Like if they had won yesterday or lost yesterday, if Cease pitched well or he didn't pitch well, does that even factor into this conversation really at all? Like, are you getting more if Cease was good yesterday? Are you getting less because he allowed the grand slam? I think at the end of the day, it's kind of baked in. If teams want Dylan Cease, they're going to acquire Dylan Cease. If the Padres want to trade Dylan Cease, I think they're going to do it. I wonder if yesterday truly mattered in the conversation whether he moves or not.
Well, if they pitched well, then, I mean, the conversation we've had of like, if he continues to pitch well, maybe that makes it more difficult for the Padres to trade him.
Yeah, maybe.
But they're also winning and they're playing good baseball.
Right.
Like we said it yesterday, they're kind of, I feel like, between a rock and a hard place. Damned if you do, you damned if you don't.
By trading him, you're saying, we're not trading him?
Yeah, by trading Dylan Cease. But also, you got to try to do everything you possibly can to improve this team's chances. And they're going to be in it. Like, there's no doubt about it. They are going to be in it for sure. I think last night's game, with how they won, with trailing like they did after the grand slam, just a complete gut punch. Like, okay, wind out of the sails. This thing's over. That's just the feeling that you've gotten while watching this team over the last 2 months. They're not recovering from that. They did. And they did in a big way. And they responded very quickly. And there were ups and downs in the game. And then you get the Elias Diaz. Of course, you get the Elias Diaz walk-off single in the 9th inning. And, Manny's out of his mind hot right now. Xander Bogaerts is hot right now. Fernando Tatis Jr.'s had a good July. Luis Ariz with the 2-run homer last night. Jackson Merrill still trying to get, back into it. But overall, Elias Diaz having a moment last night. They are between a rock and a hard place. Like, do we trade Cease or do we ride this thing out? But then if we ride this thing out, how are we going to potentially improve if we don't subtract? Can I add without subtracting? I mean, all these questions are the questions that AJ Preller is, going over with his team right now.
If I am trading Dylan Cease, I would trade him to the American League. And you may say, well, John, why? Does it matter? He's got a 4.7 ERA, but we've seen how deadlines work. You could acquire a pitcher that looks completely different on the other side of the deadline. I think by throwing him to the American League, right? By moving him to the American League. I mean, what are the chances that that alone? Yeah, what are the chances that alone bites you? I mean, I go back to what I've been saying for 24 hours, and most people disagree with this. I think when we put a poll up last night, would you trade Dylan Cease? I think about 67% of Padres fans were like, yeah, I would definitely trade Dylan Cease. I just keep going back to the fact that Darvish has looked terrible since returning. Michael King pitched a sim game, but what does that really mean? When's he going to return to the major leagues? We'll see about Ryan Berger tonight. Stephen Kolek has been really good, and Randy Vasquez has been really good. Maybe Ryan Berger will be really good. I guess I'm just asking the question, can you really trade away starting pitching when you don't know about the rest of your rotation, like Darvish and potentially King? That's the only thing that keeps going through my mind. I'm not saying it's a mistake definitively to trade him away, but I'm wondering, could it be regretful if they trade Dylan Cease and then anyone else in this rotation either struggles or goes down in the second half of the year and you really need his innings and or maybe even his potential to pitch better than he has to this point in the year?
Yeah, well, that's the question that they're asking themselves right now is if we trade away Dylan Cease and we bring back pieces in other trades or in the Dylan Cease trade, does it make us a better team?
Right.
That's the question that AJ is going to have to answer. It's not our job.
Right. And of course, nobody definitively knows.
No.
There's the risk and the reward of keeping or trading away any player.
Yeah. This is not our job to do this. We just give you our opinion. And I could go both ways with this. I really could. I could go the way that they should trade Dylan Cease because, he's not performing at a level that I'm not going to say you're not going to miss him because you would miss the innings. No doubt about it. You'd miss the innings. You'd miss the strikeouts. But also on the flip side is if you keep him and he still pitches like this, you're not, it's just, it's tough. It's tough. I said last night, if they do keep him and they do make the postseason, long ways away, 2 months away, but they're in a good spot right now. They're in a very good spot. Shoot, I just turn him into a reliever going into the postseason, turn him into like a Tim Lincecum type of player for your team. That would also have to, to be dependent on you Darvish pitching well, Michael King pitching well, Nick Pivetta pitching well. And you still need that fourth starter though. So I don't know, but still, and if not, you know what? Do what you have been doing with Randy Vasquez. Like as soon as there's he gets in the the fifth inning, have Morejon ready. Don't push Dylan just because in his past he's shown that he can go deep into games. Like, when there's any sign of trouble, yank him out because more often than not this year, he's given up that big hit. He's had that bad inning, and you just maybe to yank him before those things happen and shorten his innings load. But it's just there's a lot of things in play here with Dylan Cease.
Yeah, it's almost like you could have made that argument yesterday.
Yeah,
I guess Vientos, who had hit a home run essentially that Tatis took back. They walk a batter to get to Vientos, who then takes him deep. It was a regular season game, not a postseason game. The other thing we're not considering, and we can get into it on the other side as well, is that this idea, and I've been saying, like, you trade Dylan Cease, what are you going to do for starting pitching? I mean, they can acquire starting pitching.
100%.
It's not like you trade Dylan Cease and it means, well, we're short on starting pitching. I mean, they could acquire a starting pitcher on the other side if they do, in fact, trade Dylan Cease. Let's hear from Ken Rosenthal. This was earlier today. We'll do it on the other side. This was before the recent reporting that the Astros have emerged as a primary trade candidate for Dylan Cease. Will Cease be on the move in the next 48 hours? That's when the trade deadline is. We'll hear from Ken Rosenthal on the other side. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio at 2:30. This is Jon and Jim. Don't go anywhere. All right, the iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by The Offspring, Sammy Hagar, and more. September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile in Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. By the way, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for $2 plus $1,000 spending money. We've got your first chance to win starting next Monday at 6 a.m. Get all the info at sportssd.com/festival. We're going to hear momentarily from Ken Rosenthal. We can get your calls as well. 877-767-4760. Plus Mike Ferrin at MLB Network Radio will join us coming up in about 10 minutes.
You sent me something very interesting this morning.
Was it a picture of a cat?
No,
Okay.
It was not a picture of a cat, but it was from Cespedes Family Barbecue.
Oh yeah, it wasn't anything to do with animals. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
this had nothing to do with animals. John.
Was it a trading card?
No, you never send me
Like Jonas?
who?
Remember Jonas Cespedes? Played for the A's, home run
Oh,
derby.
Jonas Cespedes. That's based
Yeah,
on what this is. Yeah.
yeah. So, you never send me cat videos.
I don't know what I'm talking.
You do send me a lot of card stuff though.
Yeah.
You're like, I need this card right now.
Right.
But they put out a chart of the last 25 years,
Yeah.
the days leading up to the trade deadline, and how many trades were made on those days. So, just looking at recent history, all right, we'll go back to last year. On July 30th, that was the trade deadline. That was the day of the trade deadline. There were 32 trades made.
Which I think is the most in baseball history.
Yes. Well, on this chart, it
Yeah,
is
it's the
the
most
last
in baseball
25
history.
years. 2023 on August 1st, 2020 or 22, and then 2022 there was 28 trades on the trade deadline day. So 28, 22, and 32 trades made in the last 3 years on trade deadline day.
Right.
Leading up to the trade deadline day, very few.
We forget this every year, and I've been saying this recently. Like, we expect something to happen, and then nothing happens until the final 48 hours.
Last year, the day before the trade deadline, only 11 trades were made. Still a good amount.
lot, yeah.
2023, there were 8 trades made. 2022, there were 10 trades made.
Okay. What about the day before the deadline?
2024, 4 trades. 2023, 5 trades. And then 2022, 1 trade.
That's today. So think about that. Last year, 32 trades on deadline day. 2 days before deadline day, 4.
Yep.
1/8 the number of trades. So for anyone out there like, they haven't made a move, something's going on, they're going to stand pat, nothing's going to happen. No, that's not how it works. There were 40-something combined trades last year between deadline day and the day before, and there were only 4 on this day. So it could happen today, could happen right now, or it's
right
more
now.
likely to occur tomorrow and or on Thursday.
Or right now.
Trust me.
Or now.
I said I would wear my clothing backwards for whatever reason if they don't make a trade. I guarantee they will make a trade, and I am overly confident multiple Padres trades will happen between now and the deadline 48 hours from now. Mike Ferrin's going to join us coming up at 2:30.
This chart is amazing, by the way.
It is amazing.
2008 must have sucked.
No trades.
Trade deadline day, there was only 4 trades made. And then leading up to the trade deadline day, a week before, so a week total, only 10 total trades were made.
It's a different world. It was before the expanded wild card.
Yep. 32 last year.
32. That is crazy. All right. Mike Ferrin's going to join us in a few minutes. Let's go to the phones if you want to weigh in on the Padres at the deadline. 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760. Marcos is on line 1. He's got a question about the trade deadline. Marcos, thanks for calling in.
What's up, guys? I mean, maybe not specifically with the deadline, but, you know, one of those names. First of all, fun game last night. Love watching the boys get after it, and that was great. Wanted to talk Marahone. I like him. He's growing on me. I like his sense of urgency. I like his power. I like how he likes to step up in those situations. And most of the time, you know, he does well. He doesn't seem like he gets a lot of pitches. I think he could throw more pitches in a different spot. What do you guys think of him and overall how he fits into the pitching bullpen?
Are you saying, and Marcos, thanks for the call, and you can keep him for one. Are you saying maybe move him to, well, he's gone now, move him later in the bullpen, like as a setup guy or closer? I think that's certainly been tossed around. I would just say, in watching him last night, Jim, it's like he's pitching so confidently and so well. It's working, and he's going multiple innings and 5 outs. He could have gone 6 outs yesterday if they really wanted to. What they're doing is working. I don't know if it needs to be tweaked, but you could make an argument the way he's pitching, he could be pitching in 8th and 9th innings.
Can you guess what his ERA is over his last 30 appearances?
I sub 1, certainly. It feels like he's probably allowed 1 or 2 or so runs.
Everyone's
in the
singing
last
happy birthday to Brent.
I thought this is for the trade deadline or Brent.
It's for both. They made a trade.
I'm gonna say he's got a 0.6 ERA in his last 30 appearances.
He's got a 0.31 ERA.
So 1 run allowed.
Yeah.
Right.
30 appearances, 29 in the third innings. He's allowed only 10 hits, 1 earned run. 33 strikeouts and 5 walks and 29 in the third.
So it feels like I thought it was 1 or 2 runs. That's what it feels like.
He has been incredible.
Amazing.
You could argue he's the best reliever in the sport.
Yes, with those numbers, absolutely. He is pitching like the best reliever in the sport right now. Absolutely.
I think when he goes out there, his confidence is as high as it's ever been. And you can just tell by watching him. His command is impeccable. His stuff is nasty. Last night, he was walking away after striking guys out before the ump even made a signal.
Yeah.
Like, that's how confidently he's pitching right now out of the bullpen. And because of that, I don't change a thing.
You know, that's my point too. But then you say those numbers, like put him in the 9th inning with the same result follow. If he's pitching in 9th innings, is he going to, have 29 scoreless outings in his next 30 appearances if he's pitching in the 9th inning? I don't know.
Yeah, it's always something that you're like, oh, well, he's pitching great. You can just put him in this spot and he'll do the exact same thing.
Doesn't always work.
Exactly.
You can't. 9th innings are different, man.
The last 3 outs of a game are always the hardest. Just ask Robert Suarez.
Yeah, absolutely, including last night.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fortunate to win when you consider last night. I mean, the Mets made some miscues. There was the spectacular play from Tatis. There's a 9th inning home run. Tatis, the one where he went over the wall to save 2 runs. But you're right, he made 2 spectacular defensive plays. I mean, the Padres really did kind of steal that game away from the Mets. Do we want to sneak in a call here from Eric? Because we have Mike Ferrin on the other side. Let's sneak this in. We got about 30 seconds. Eric, thanks for calling in. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey, guys. Thanks again. Yeah, I was listening in on the Padre talk there. I enjoy it. One thing about Adrian Marjon and the Padres, if they do decide to trade Suarez, I know it's all speculation, and then put Marjon into the 9-hole, I think it might take away a little bit of what he's been doing now, what's been so effective, like in the 6th, 7th inning. And then another thing is, I kind of like what the Padres offense has been doing lately, like, bunting, playing small ball and things like that. Because I think those kind of things work, and they work when the opportunity arises, whether it be the 4th inning, the 7th inning, or the 9th inning. Thanks again, guys.
Appreciate it, Eric. All right, I want to take a break. We can react later this hour because Mike Ferrin's calling a game tonight. He's only got about 10 or so minutes to join us. Mike Ferrin with the very latest on the Padres at the deadline. MLB Network Radio's Mike Ferrin joins us next on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Zero Res Carpet Surface and Upholstery Cleaners. Padres beat the Mets last night in Game 1 of their series, thanks to an Elias Diaz walk-off single in the bottom of the ninth inning. Game 2 of their 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Ryan Bogaerts gets the start for the Pods. And a trade to report today, according to Jeff Passan, the Blue Jays, they're acquiring Orioles right-handed reliever Sir Anthony Dominguez. Get 3 rooms of carpets clean for just $169 and get 20% off additional services. Zero Res is the safe carpet, surface, and upholstery cleaner that cleans without using harmful toxic chemicals and more. Visit ZeroSanDiego.com for details and book today. That's ZeroSanDiego.com.
I appreciate Mike Ferrin taking time for us in San Diego, 2 days out from the deadline, right at 48 hours, essentially. He's calling a game tonight, so we got about 8 or 9 minutes. So, Mike, we appreciate you taking time. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio. I just want to start with Cease. In general, what type of return could the Padres get for a pitcher of his caliber? That is a rental. He's in the midst of a kind of a very average year, but we've seen his potential. What would be a typical return? What could the Padres be looking to get if they do move Dylan Cease? And thanks for joining.
Yeah, well, my pleasure always. I mean, I think even with the ERA being high, the peripherals are still pretty strong, right? His ERA predictors say that their run average should be more than a run lower. I think you're probably looking at, if he's really is available, he's probably the guy that can get a prospect in that like 50 to 70 range on a top 100 list. Whereas most of the others can't get, other players available can't get that. So, and that's just be the start, right? So you're probably looking at someone in that range, and then, another pretty good prospect, and then a player to dream on that AJ Preller undoubtedly has snuck into a complex league to see while we're in bucket hat, because only AJ would do that, because he's like, nobody loves going to the backfields more than him. So I would say that's probably about what it is. And I do think that it's interesting. Like, I saw the report, I'm sure you guys have been talking about it, with Houston being interested in him. It's like, well, like Houston has a really deep farm system. I just kind of have this feeling that, like, if Cease is going to get moved, it's going to be part of a much bigger transaction, whether immediately or secondarily, in that they're going to be like essentially a 3-team trade. And it doesn't necessarily need to be one specifically, but like those prospects that you're acquiring are either backfilling ones you're sending out or are being shipped to somewhere else. Because I feel like with some of the names that are mentioned, unless you're going to do it with the Cubs, it's the only spot that makes sense. And even there, you're dealing with risk when you're talking about position players that haven't really established themselves in the big leagues. They would be at the top of their list.
Would you trade Cease? Do you think this would be a risky move if they do move him at the deadline here?
Yeah, I think it's risky. I mean, I just think it's, I said this in another spot. Like, I think it's really hard to trade players off your major league roster when you're in contention. And I think there's a couple reasons for it. One, like most teams would love to be able to trade prospects to be able to get what they have because they're trying to strengthen what they do. Two, like, how do you replace Dylan Cease, really, right? Because, I mean, the odds are overwhelming the next 2 months are going to look better than the first 4 have from him just based on his career. And again, what we talked about, where his strikeout rate is and home run rate, a home run the Grand Slam last night notwithstanding. But, like, I think it's tough to replace that guy. So I do think it's risky, but I think you have to make a lot of other moves in order to do that. I think the other part of it is that there's usually like an acclimation period for a week or so with new players coming in. And so those first couple of days, I feel like after the deadline, even if you're just adding one significant piece, can be pretty uneven for a squad as everybody's kind of trying to figure out their new roles and figure out how to play well together. And I think that's, when the wildcard race is as tight as it is, that's a challenge. Now, if you come out on the other side of that and you're a significantly better team, I think that's, that works out great. But I think those are the risks that I think the Padres probably are weighing in what they do or how they go about doing this, because it's clear that they're trying to be as creative as possible. But again, like that's always, AJ Preller's always willing to talk about anybody on his roster at any given time, except maybe like Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis.
Right.
Yeah, fascinating perspective. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, with us right now on Jon and Jim. Deadline just 48 hours away. Padres, appear to be in need of offensive help, even though their offense has been better recently here since the All-Star break. But who are some outfielders that you could see being on the move? And would you tie one or two of those names potentially to San Diego? Who would those names be?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't tied anybody. Like, I don't have any names that I know that they're interested in, but and these are not going to be. I think we've had this conversation enough at the deadline to know that I'm not going to throw sexy names at you just to throw sexy names. I think for the most part, the moves that get made are more for role players. The guy who I think is a great fit for them is Mike Tauchman with the White Sox. He gets on base at a really good clip. He's a good corner outfield defender. He would hit at the top of that lineup. One of the things that they have suffered from this year, and with the offense being down, is that there's significantly more chase in that lineup. And Tauchman's a guy that manages the count really well. So I think somebody like him from the left side would make sense. I think if they looked at a DH, I think Ryan O'Hearn from Baltimore, even though his numbers haven't been great over the last 6 weeks or so, I think he would be a really good fit. Again, the guy that knows the difference between a ball and a strike. I think he's a good one. I think Baltimore also has Ramon Laureano, who's having a great year, more of a right-handed hitter. I would probably prefer him to just play against lefties, but a guy that, has some power and plays with high energy. So those are kind of some of the names that I would be considering, I think, if I were the Padres. But again, we know AJ likes to swing big. If he can't swing big, I'd like to see him, with 2 strikes, cut down and try and send one the other way. Metaphorically.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, the trade deadline, on trade deadline day, Mike, there were 32 trades made on that day, the most in baseball history. Over under 32 and a half this year.
Let's see. Well, I mean, reliever Palooza just started, right, with the Dominguez trade.
Yeah.
So it's always there's going to be 20 relievers moved alone, I would think, on Thursday. I'm going to take the under, but I still think it's going to be somewhere in that 25 to 30 range. I think we were talking about this last night on the air and during the Diamondbacks Tigers game that I was doing. And I figured there'd probably be about, there were 3 trades yesterday, 3 to 5 today, 5 to 7 tomorrow. And then I think I said a bazillion on Thursday, but 25 would probably be about right. It just kind of builds to a crescendo, right? So I would think the next couple of days, and mine might be a little bit high on that. Maybe it's 5 to 8 trades total over the next few days, but then definitely in that 25 to 30 range. I would think in this week that there's somewhere around 40 to 45 deals made total.
All right, that could all play out over the next 48 hours. A couple more, Mike, before you go. What about Robert Suarez?
Mm-hmm.
There's been all this talk locally about Dylan Cease. Suarez, a high save total, but a high ERA, a lot of game-tying home run yesterday and a win in the 9th inning. He's, free agent eligible if he opts out at the end of the season. Yeah. If you were in AJ Preller's shoes, do you consider moving your closer or not?
Well, I think that's a far more likely scenario than moving Cease, just because it's easier to backfill that position. Sounds like they have interest in some of the Marlins relievers, including Anthony Bednar. They certainly have 2 other all-star relievers in Jason Adam and Adrian Morejon. So you feel like you're dealing from a position of strength. Again, you're going to need to backfill it somewhere else. But, the closer market, obviously the bigger concern is on what happened with Emmanuel Clase with Cleveland when it comes to his administrative leave as it pertains to a gambling investigation. But the practical application for most of the other teams is it took one of the more prominent closer names off the market. I don't know if he was going to get moved or not. Cleveland's really good at trying to figure out exactly what teams are willing to offer and then not making deals. And so I don't know that he would have gotten moved. But if there is, in fact, one less closer available on the market, it would seem that by pushing Suarez, you could fill some of that void. And he's certainly the most affordable in terms of dollars spent. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I would say that it's probably, in my mind, more likely than Cease getting dealt, just because they have such pitching issues overall. But, I know better than to try and guess exactly what AJ is going to do.
Yeah, you never guess what AJ is going to do because every time you think you know, he goes the other direction. So,
And thank God for that, right? Like,
Right.
because man, if he didn't, like, we would all be bored out of our minds.
I can tell you what, this here, Mike, he is really fun to cover. Like, it is amazing to cover an AJ Preller led team because of just every direction that he could go and every player that he's in on. The rumor mill is just through the roof. Final one for me, Mike, real quick here. When you look at the Padres, they have the final wild card spot as of right now. The National League kind of bunched up at the top. Where do you put the Padres as far as like in the hierarchy of the National League, even though they're holding the final wild card spot right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think they're as good as the two NL East teams, last night's win notwithstanding. I don't know that they're. Oh, that's a good. I think they're right there with the Cubs in Milwaukee. I would put them in that group. So, behind the Dodgers, clearly, although the Dodgers have a lot of stuff they got to get figured out. I mean, they're going to out-talent their way through the regular season, but they've got to get healthier for the postseason. I think they're probably in a similar group to, like, the teams that they're grouped with, right? The Cubs, the Brewers, the Reds, I would put in that mix too. San Francisco's trending in the wrong direction. I still think, like, despite the fact that they haven't played well of late, they picked a really bad week to have a bad week. And even with the trade of Naylor and Grichuk, Arizona's still got some talent, and I'm curious to see what they do in the next couple of days. At the very least, they're going to be a pain in the butt, I think, in the last 2 months of the season. I know the Padres did a big series with them shortly after the trade deadline. So I think that's kind of the hierarchy as I would line it up. But I would say mostly they're battling at this point with the Reds for that wild card spot. And then maybe a team like Arizona tries to pull a Tigers. I mean, obviously their playoff odds are going to be better than Detroit's were in the middle of August last year, but that would be the team behind them. And I know from talking to Padres officials earlier this year, like they were really hoping Arizona would sell because they're pretty good and they have a lot of talent. It's just injuries to their pitching staff, and specifically their bullpen, have train wrecked a lot of games for them this season.
Yeah, I mean, their offense has been elite at times. Mike, we appreciate you taking time. We know you're on the call later today. Appreciate you doing it. Enjoy the next couple of days. We'll do it again in the second half of the year, all right?
Yeah, guys, anytime. Sorry I had to run quick today, but always a pleasure being on with you.
It's our pleasure. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Mike.
it, Mike. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio. Let's react. He shared 4 or 5 names that could benefit the Padres post-trade deadline. We'll discuss on the other side. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. I'll tell you what, Mike Ferrin, there's a reason he talks baseball for a living. He's got a radio show on MLB Network Radio. I mean, he gave us some really good names. Jon Jim, San Diego Sports 760, in terms of names that could benefit the Padres. I mean, he's not saying, hey, I've talked to AJ Preller, he's in on these players, but he's saying, hey, these are the type of players that could really benefit them that are slightly under the radar. He mentioned Mike Tauchman having a really good year. He mentioned Ryan O'Hearn having a really good year.
All-star.
And then he mentioned also Ramon Laureano, who's having a very good offensive year. So if you're just looking for offensive production, sometimes forget about everything else. Oh, how's their defense? What's their speed like? Just guys that hit, they get on base. Those three guys all hit well above league average, well above.
All right, you want to hear the numbers for them? Because I know listeners want to know every time there's a name being mentioned. What's the numbers? What are they doing this year? Mike Tauchman, all right, the White Sox this year in 54 games, he has a 1.5 WAR. All right, 220 at bats. He's hitting 285 with an 840 OPS, a 134 OPS plus. He's got 7 homers, 13 doubles, and 29 RBIs.
Okay,
is that good? And he plays elite defense.
If you're driving, don't write this down.
No, but he also plays elite defense.
Okay,
now he's a lefty, but you could put him in left field, and you would feel completely fine about him. And if you're wondering, well, what's the contract look like? He's under team control until 2027, or at least 2026, and then he's a free agent in 2027. Arbitration eligible next year.
Okay.
All right. Ryan O'Hearn, he's an all-star this year. This year for the Baltimore Orioles in 92 games, he has a 2.0 WAR. He's hitting 284 with an 827 OPS, a 134 OPS plus, 12 homers, 15 doubles, 40 RBIs.
Okay.
Is that good?
He's having a very good year.
Ramon Laureano in 79 games for the Baltimore Orioles this year. He has a 2.6 WAR. He's got 17 doubles, 15 homers, 46 RBIs. He's in 279 with an 866 OPS and a 142 OPS plus. I like that.
He's got a club option for 2026. The one thing that sticks out about those three names is only one bats right-handed, and that's Laureano. And I do think that's something to at least consider. That's something we talked a lot about in June. I haven't touched on as much now as we've gotten closer to the deadline, and the offense has been better.
O'Hearn's a free agent after this year, by the way, too. He's a
okay. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I would take any and all. I would take any and all. We didn't get into catchers. We probably should have with Ferrin, but I would take any and all. And by the way, Dennis Lind today reports that they are still seeking. I mean, how could you not report this? They are still seeking catching upgrades, but you look at how it's playing out with this combination of Diaz and Maldonado in terms of the job they've done with the staff, and even, moments like last night, multiple moments last night from Elias Diaz. I mean, I don't think both catchers are on the move. I really don't. Maybe one is, but I'd be shocked if both catchers were on the move between now and the deadline.
I still think when you look at the bench right now, there's 2 players that I think will be replaced at the deadline, and that's Trent Brooks and that's Wadey. I think those 2 guys don't make it past Thursday. I would be surprised if they both do. Like borderline shocked if they both do.
Right.
At least one of them's gone, and most likely it's going to be Trent Brooks because there's a love affair from Shildt for Tyler Wade. Like they need someone just to occupy the end of the bench.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's not like maybe you could argue that neither has really deserved sticking around all year, but certainly Trenton Brooks hasn't taken the bull.
He's been given a lot of opportunities. Tyler Wade's been given opportunities and he has fumbled those opportunities.
Yeah, but at least he has like a skill set of defensive replacement, running and bunting that Trenton Brooks doesn't really necessarily possess.
The versatility that Wade has, Trenton Brooks does not.
Yeah, so I'm 100% with you. Listen, there'll be a change on their major league roster. The point that Mike Ferrin made, that it's rare for a contender to make a change with their major league roster. He's talking about with the front of the roster. It's rare to trade your 4-hole hitter if you're a contender. It's rare to trade your ace if you're a contender. But then again, AJ Preller's rare. This franchise is somewhat unique. It really is. The way they do it here, they're not the big market like LA or New York. They're not the small market like Pittsburgh. And they've operated in this like unique space with a very unique general manager. And you don't put anything past him, where it would be unconventional for like the Chicago Cubs historically to like sell as contenders. AJ Preller does things differently. So he's going to do what's best for his team right now. And if that includes trading Dylan Cease, it does. If that includes trading for Ryan O'Hearn, it does. But I'm not willing to be like, oh my gosh, they traded Robert Suarez. Can you believe it? We've talked about this for weeks on end. Or they don't trade Robert Suarez and Dylan Cease. Whatever happens isn't going to be jaw-dropping, shocking from the Padres, is my guess.
Like my preference.
Okay.
I know it's going to sound kind of against everything I've been talking about.
Do nothing.
Don't trade Cease and don't trade Suarez.
Okay.
But I'm also asking them to go out and then acquire a bat or two and a reliever. They don't have the room to do that. At least that's what we're being told. So now you have to weigh the options. And if it were me, that's again why I'm not obviously general manager, and obviously that's a good thing, because if we were
traded Machado,
it would have been a problem. It would have been a problem if we were GMs of baseball teams. That's why it's AJ's job to do, and we just obviously criticize him and praise him, and talk about the moves that he makes. But I think trading Cease and or Robert Suarez, that could be a problem. But again, who knows, because we don't know how this thing's going to play out.
Here's the dirty little secret. The three players that you and I are now like infatuated with, right? The players of the day.
I love these guys.
Yeah. Laureano,
Get
and
one of
O'Hearn.
those guys.
You can acquire any or all of them and trade no one. They make no money.
Good.
So it's not like, hey, man, it's a tough call. Maybe we got to get rid of Cease for Mike Tauchman. He makes $1.9 million this year.
If you can't add $1.9 million to your major league roster, then what are we doing?
But it's only $600,000 remaining.
Exactly.
Ramon Laureano this year makes $4 million. That means he's got $1 million roughly remaining. And then Ryan O'Hearn this year makes $5 million. That means he's got like $1.5 million.
So in your opinion, if they were to trade Dylan Cease, who's the player out there that has a bunch of money attached to them that they'd be bringing in?
Yeah, I mean, he made the interesting point of like, well, is it a 3-team trade where you're replenishing your system via Cease, maybe you're adding a major leaguer as well as part of that 3-team deal, and you're kind of like kissing your sister a little bit, which is replenishing your farm system and also keeping your major league team above water, so to speak. Like, I don't think there's going to be, like, if I'm trading Dylan Cease, how can you say on the other side, like, they traded Dylan Cease and their major league roster is 100% better? Because that's going to include losing a guy that is capable of posting like a 2.9 ERA, like Dylan Cease. So how can you trade Dylan Cease and be like, they're definitively better at the major league level after trading Dylan Cease? I mean, what is that going to look like? When would we say that? You say that if they acquire Luis Robert Jr.? I won't. You say that if they upgrade a catcher? I won't. You say that if they add Charlie Morton? I won't. So, like, what's it going to take to definitively upgrade your major league roster? And maybe it's something who knows? It's going to take a series of moves to do that.
And we also have to look at where they're at as far as the luxury tax goes. They're over the second luxury tax threshold of 261. Their luxury tax payroll is like 262.
Right.
5. I mean, it is
something like that. Yeah.
It's like, it's right over. And you have to think, if there's because they added money to start the year, but the end of the year is what counts. So at the end of the year, if they're over 261, then they have the tax.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're under at the end of the year, they don't.
Correct.
So they still have time to get that number below 261. If that is truly what the main goal of this franchise and John Seidler is to, hey, AJ, you can add money at the start of the year, but at the end of the year, we have to be below 261. So that also is a factor as well.
Good point. It is a good, we don't know. That's the one thing we do not know. And we will never know, maybe until the season ends. What is the budget in which Preller is operating on? But we do know this: it's not a blank check. Because you don't do the moves they did this offseason and then get to the deadline and be like, blank check. Right. I know we're talking about trading Dylan Cease. Forget about that. Blank check. All right. More on what was reported this afternoon in The Athletic, that the Astros are targeting in on Dylan Cease potentially over the next 48 hours. We'll get to that on the other side. We're here until 6 p.m. We're getting you ready for Padres and Mets game 2. Padres trying to extend their winning streak to 4 games at the trade deadline now, exactly 48 hours out. Hour 2 of Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Allstate. Padres took game 1 from the Mets last night, 7-6, thanks to an Elias Diaz walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th inning. Game 2 of their 3-game series tonight, 6:40 first pitch down at Petco Park. Ryan Bogaerts gets the start for the Padres. And a trade to report today, according to Jeff Passan, the Blue Jays, they acquired Orioles right-hander Sir Anthony Dominguez. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
They are Jon and Jim.
A stormtrooper helmet, John. You know what that is?
Yeah, the Star Wars guy.
Good job.
The main character.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. He looks like the gun. Right?
Main character. You could argue that some could argue that the real main character of Star Wars is a stormtrooper.
The Force will be with you. Now, your favorite pair, Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 2, Jon and Jim. We are 47 hours and 58 minutes out from the trade deadline. It is 3 p.m. Thursday. By the way, join us Thursday. We will have a special Jon and Jim reacting to it all on the air at 2, final 60 minutes of the deadline period being open. Remember, in years past, typically you will receive word of trades that have finished before 3 after 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So you will hear between 3 and 4 about additional trades in Major League Baseball. What if I tell you on Thursday at 3? What if I tell you this? Okay, bear with me.
Okay.
Right at 3 p.m., Dylan Cease has been traded to the Houston Astros, and the return is Jake Bloss, Joey Loperfido, and Will Wagner. This was the return that the Blue Jays received last year for Yusei Kikuchi, who was a top pitcher on the market, having a very similar year to Dylan Cease. He had a 4.75. He had a 2.7 after that, which
very
is great,
similar.
which is great for the Astros. But the return, again, this goes back to the return sometimes in baseball. Now, I'm not expecting this solely from Preller. He's got to keep his major league team above water. His system matters to some extent. But what would you say if the return for Dylan Cease was 3 prospects? So what the Blue Jays did last year, a year later, they've got the best team in baseball in terms of record. I don't know the role that Jake Bloss, Joey Loperfido, or infielder Will Wagner have played. That's why what Mike Ferrin said makes sense to me, that if you do trade away Dylan Cease, maybe it involves a third team where prospects are on the move somewhere, and then a major leaguer is also on the move as well. That does potentially make sense to me. And also what they wrote today in the Athletic, Jim, is the Astros system, according to the Athletic, is ranked the 29th best system in Major League Baseball. So, like, what are you really taking from the 29th best system in baseball and feeling overly confident about?
Bro, I have no idea.
Well, do you want to break down? I know. I mean, this was last year.
Yeah, those players on the Blue Jays, right?
They're on the Blue Jays.
So they're not on the Astros.
But I'm saying, like, when they made that trade last year, like, you know, what would you, again, like, if you trade Dylan Cease, I don't want that to be the return. That's how I feel right now. I want the return to be like, oh, they landed Luis Robert Jr. in that deal. Right?
Right. Because it's a domino effect. Whatever happens with Cease, if Cease is truly moved, I feel like that's the start of the dominoes falling.
Do you take the player's move for Cease and then spin them? That's basically what Ferrin was saying. Even if it's not technically a 3-team deal, hey, we got their, make it up, 6th and 7th best prospects. Those 6 and 7 are off to Boston.
For Duran?
I'm making it up. I don't know. You know my point.
You could absolutely do that. It's how you look at it. Like last year in the offseason when they traded Juan Soto and they got all those pieces.
Yep.
And then they flipped. Who was the pitcher?
Who, Drew Thorpe?
Drew Thorpe. They flipped Drew Thorpe in the Dylan Cease deal. So then when you look at it all together, it's like he traded away Juan Soto essentially for Michael King and Dylan Cease. And at the time, Kyle Higashioka and Randy Vasquez.
And those players have had some real value over the last 2 years.
100%.
Especially King and Cease.
Yeah. So if you were to tell me that was the move and there was nothing after, I'd be like
what? Right.
There has to be multiple moves. There has to be a chain of events, a domino effect per se, with Dylan Cease. Whenever Cease is dealt, if he's even dealt, it has to be the start of like 2-3 other moves potentially to then have it all put together and all make sense. Because if you were just putting that trade in a vacuum and telling me that Dylan Cease was traded for the players you just named me that I've never heard of before, I'd be like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Completely agree.
But if, like you say, Cease is traded to the Astros for their like 4th, 6th, and 8th best prospect in the organization, and then 2 of those prospects then in turn are put in a package with another prospect that the Padres have to, I don't know, whatever, like to bring another player back, then I would say that makes a little more sense.
It screams, if it's not a 3-team deal, it screams what you said, like a domino effect. If you're trading away Dylan Cease and landing prospects, here's what may happen, and I can already see the reaction on social media. And if we're on the air and this happens, oh, the Padres have traded Dylan Cease to the Astros for 3 people we've never heard of. How could AJ Preller make that trade? And then 22 minutes later, 2 of those 3 players that they acquired for Dylan Cease go to the Yankees or the Red Sox or whomever else or wherever else. So that's always a possibility. But it was in The Athletic within the last 90 minutes that they wrote, Cease is at the top of the Astros wish list as the trade deadline nears, according to sources briefed on the team's decisions. If the Astros want to take a shot on Dylan Cease and can put the Padres in a position where they can flip prospects or keep prospects and keep their major league roster above float, I mean, how badly do the Astros want Dylan Cease? We have no idea. Like if you really want Dylan Cease, and what Mike Ferrin told us within the last hour was, listen, Cease might command a top 50 prospect in the sport. He might command a top 50 prospect in the sport. You know, how badly do you want Dylan Cease if you're the Houston Astros? And maybe that impacts AJ Preller's decision. Who knows who else wants Dylan Cease? Will there be some type of bidding war for this player that plays out? But I'm 100% with you. I think you might get prospects in your return, but I think ultimately some, if not all of those prospects get flipped in an effort to improve the major league roster right here and now, because they got to get to the postseason in 2025.
Yeah, he is not afraid to take prospects back in a trade and then immediately ship them out. So we'll see if he ends up doing that. It wouldn't make a lot of sense to do that. But again, who knows if AJ's asking for major league talent, who on the Astros, if the Astros are like trying to go for it, who on the Astros in their major league roster would you want to go and get? I mean, Victor Caratini is a catcher and something else in the organization. Like,
no idea.
Well,
this whole article didn't mention one potential return for the Padres, right? It talked about the fact that the Astros are dealing with injuries at the major league level. It talked about the fact that their farm system has less depth than the Padres farm system. Think about that. The Padres system has been run through over the last couple of years by AJ Preller. Astros have a quote unquote worse system. That doesn't mean they don't have a high level player or 2 or 3. I'm sure they do, but they don't have a quality system for AJ Preller to go shopping through. And just because this is the report doesn't mean that Dylan Cease A is moved or B goes to the Astros.
And I love
just the report.
I also love people in our chat right now. Cease would never go for that much, Jim. Guys, it's a freaking example. Chill out. We have no idea.
I mean, what do you mean? We just had Mike Ferrin say that Cease would command maybe the best return out there.
Yeah, nothing is funnier than fans trying to be a general manager. Like, oh, that player would go for like the 3rd and like the 12th ranked prospect in an organization, Jim. He would never go for anything higher than that. You don't know. Yeah. You have no idea.
No idea. There's so many particulars. The dollars, we don't know that. Like, are the Padres paying some of it down to acquire additional prospect capital? Are the Astros taking on the entirety of the salary? It's not a lot at this point. But yeah, anyone in our chat that's like, yo, if they can get Miguel Ulola,
you have no clue.
And Kevin Alvarez has really hit well from the left side. Nobody has any idea. I mean, honestly. And, I'm looking at their top 10 prospects right now. It's the same thing as the Padres' top 10 prospects. I was told Ethan Salas can't miss. Nobody knows if that's accurate.
No.
That's what I was 18 months ago, I would have said that. I'm saying right now, Leo DeVries can't miss. That doesn't mean it's true. Leo DeVries could have great minor league numbers. It doesn't mean he's going to pan out.
Any prospect for they trade for, to be honest with you, I wouldn't care about. All I care about is who are they getting in to help this major league roster.
Unless it was that Yankees outfield prospect who's hit like
Spencer
50 home
Jones.
runs. Yeah.
Well, Spencer Jones would be at the big league level if he got traded.
100%. And there may be someone in the Astros organization that's comparable to that, like a AAA impact piece. But
who knows? And you don't know. I don't know.
Nobody knows.
People listening don't know. People watching us on YouTube don't know. People listening on the iHeartRadio app don't know.
Those people might know.
They might know, actually. You're right. Especially if they put us in their presets. Then they would definitely know.
100%. By the way, if you are watching right now on YouTube, I rarely do this with us being on the radio. Subscribe to this channel because there's so many people watching right now on YouTube. There's so much interest. I mean, we're inside 48 hours. We said this earlier when we talked about the tweet from Cespedes Barbecue. Then Mike Ferrin talked about it a little later. You think there's a lot of movement with the trade deadline being 2 days away, and there can be movement. There could be a massive trade today, and there could be a huge trade tomorrow. But the lion's share of trades will happen on the 31st. There were 32 trades a year ago on the 31st. There were only 4 trades, for example, on the 29th a year ago. So just because Preller hasn't acted as of yet, just because you haven't seen the earth-shattering move, just because Dylan Cease is still here, right? 12 hours or 18 hours after his last start, does not mean we can assume anything. We could wake up Thursday morning with a quiet Padres front office to that point, and they could change the Padres' fortunes moving forward with a series of trades, all happening on the 31st.
He's making a trade at like 5:30 a.m. on Thursday.
Oh, you'll be sleeping.
Yeah, 100%.
You better set an alarm for 9:20.
I did wake up this morning at
And looked.
7:45 a.m.
You looked.
because I had a little like, oh, did something happen?
Right.
Yeah, of course I looked. Nothing did happen, but the likelihood of him trading or making a trade or two during when I'm asleep, very high.
It seems like a lot of the big moves, we said this within the last few days, like a lot of the big moves the Padres have made in recent history have occurred or been reported in like that 6 a.m. Pacific hour, including Manny Machado's extension years ago when you slept till 10 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking about trades, like not signings, but trades.
Well, a lot of trades happen early in the morning Pacific as well, because you're dealing with teams that aren't in the Pacific time zone.
But as far as the trades that he has made in recent memory, I can't think of one that happened early in the morning. Soto was at night. Arise was before a game.
Yep.
Cease was it? It wasn't in the morning. It was like in the day.
Which was the one you texted me when I was like reading books to Jones? You're like, yeah, they signed Bogaerts. Was that Bogaerts?
Dude, I can't remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, you like called me like 3 times.
Yeah, Bogaerts happened late at night, like at 9 p.m. I remember, because I was in bed, and it was right after the winter meetings, or right as the winter meetings were ending.
Right.
And the Bogart news dropped, and you're like, oh no. And then I remember, what was it? It was the Soto year when the news of Hosmer getting traded happened like at 11 p.m. at night or something like that.
Right. I do remember that.
In recent history here, my memory, I don't think he has made any trades early in the morning. Now, of course, that's the kiss of death. He's going to make a trade at 5 a.m. on Thursday morning.
I know. Or how about this? Here's the first trade. We're going to do like 8 hours of content today. Like we'll do this 4-hour show. Then we'll watch the Padres. Then we'll do like a 100-minute wrap-up show. We will end the wrap-up show tonight.
Nothing.
Tweet. No, then we see the tweet.
Oh, dude,
then
don't
we
say
see
that.
Then we see Cease moved. Then we got to start a new wrap-up show stream and go on for another 90 minutes. That's a little bit of the kiss of death. Listen, it's that time of year. Whatever it takes. Whatever we need to do, we're going to do.
No days off.
Well, we said as long as he didn't make trades Saturday when we were like, you were out with Aaron and my wife was away. I had to pick her up from the airport. We went to a card show. I'm like, don't make a trade at 10 a.m. Saturday. He didn't. So now whatever he does, I'm cool with. Because he didn't take our Saturday away from us. So now whatever he does, 10 p.m., 10 a.m., 6 p.m., 6 a.m., I'm cool with it.
And he didn't take our Sunday away either. I was with family up in Oceanside. So thank you, AJ.
Thank you, AJ.
Giving us our weekend to make this week
hell
for us. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually, this is one of the most enjoyable parts of the season. It's like there's just content for days, but there is a point like 5-6 days before the trade deadline, you're like, okay, can we just get there? But like 2-3 days leading up to the trade deadline, this is when stuff heats up.
In season, this is one of the best times of the year until you get to a postseason and a winter meetings. But in season, this is one of the best times of the year, especially when you're in the Padres position, which is hopefully adding to the roster in 2025. So the latest reports coming up on the other side. If you missed Mike Ferrin, we'll play that back for you in the 4 o'clock hour as well. Don't go anywhere. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. iHeartRadio Music Festival back. Live performances by The Offspring, Tim McGraw and more, September 19th and 20th. T-Mobile in Vegas, 2 nights, 1 stage. Tickets at AXS.com. And while the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 spending money. We've got your first chance to win starting next Monday at 6 a.m. All the info at sportsSD.com/festival.
So Ken Rosenthal today spoke on, I always get this name.
Yeah.
It's Foul Territory.
Foul Territory.
Foul Territory on YouTube.
With AJ, what's his name?
AJ Pierzynski. AJ, what's his name? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what he had to say about the Padres at the trade deadline, potentially selling and buying.
They would only sell if it enabled them to get other pieces that would help them maybe even better compete this season. That's the whole point. They're not pure sellers, and they shouldn't be, as you just mentioned. They're a really good team. They're in good wild card position, as you mentioned, and there's no reason for them to sell. But when you have a farm system that is not as deep as it once was, at least in the eyes of many in the industry, when you have seeming payroll restrictions of some kind, we don't know exactly what they are. At that point, you have to be creative. And that is why you think about or talk about moving a Dylan Cease if it can bring you something else of great value to your team. We know what they need. They need a left fielder. They'd like to improve their catching as well. And if you trade Cease, you've got to backfill with another starting pitcher. So to describe them as pure sellers would be a misconception. That's not right. What they are is a team that is looking at all possibilities, trying to improve themselves for 26. I sound like a GM with the GM speak now, but that's what they're doing.
I mean, pure sellers obviously is lunacy.
Thanks, little Ken.
Yeah, I mean, what he said is what we've said for a long time, and also is basically right in front of your face. I mean, the idea that the Padres are sellers doesn't make any sense.
No.
Now, what they're doing again is a little outside the box. So I get what people might be thinking nationally. Like, you see a headline from afar, like, oh, the Padres are going to move Dylan Cease. Like, what's going on with the Padres?
Right.
You know, when you see a guy that's twice finished top 5 in Cy Young voting, like if I saw the same with another, playoff caliber team, I'd be like, well, what's going on with that team? But when you take a little bit of a further look, you understand what they're trying to do is something that's fairly unique to San Diego's situation. And the Mets wouldn't be doing, and the Dodgers won't be doing, but it's something the Padres think they may have to do.
And it can also be justified a little bit more by saying, all right, he's not having a good year.
Yep.
And he's a free agent at the end of the season with Scott Boras as his agent.
Mm-hmm.
So last time that they hedged at the deadline with a player that was about to become a free agent that you were not going to have return, it bit him in the ass.
Right.
Now, that team in 2023, the writing was on the wall at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
This team is completely different. It's in the complete opposite direction. I feel good about this team. Not very good, but I feel good about this team that they're not going to just completely collapse like the 2023 team did.
Yeah, this team has heart. They do. I mean, they have fight. They might not be identical to 2024. I felt more confident the later we got in 2024 with that team. I might feel the same way in 2025. But if this is 2023, last night's a 5-2 loss.
Yep.
Okay. It's 5-1 in the 5th. They had a sac fly later in 2023. I'm telling you, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They loaded the bases in the 7th inning in 2023 with 1 out. They had a sac fly, where they grounded into a double play. But it wasn't 2023. And their comeback last night was impressive and had 2024 written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there was a home run in that inning, but the way in which they beat the Mets, they took advantage of miscues and singling another team to death and just playing good defense as well, what Tatis did last night. The bullpen, which played out in 2024. And it's hard to say that because what happened in 2024, maybe it'll happen again in 2025. I'm not saying they're going 43-19, but could they take on a similar feel in the second half of 2025 to the one they took on in 2024? Maybe. Let's see what happens. I mean, I think we have decent vibes about this team right now just because they've won the last 3 days specifically.
Yeah, I had the same feelings.
Yeah, decent feeling. Oh, compared to 2024?
No, about this team.
Yeah,
gotcha. the vibes are decent.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some good moments that have been had.
Right.
not as consistent as you'd like. But at the same time, when is a baseball team going to be consistently good every single day of the year?
Right.
For, back-to-back seasons. You're going to have your ups and downs, 162 games. You're going to have bumps and highs and lows. And it's just making sure that in the most important parts of your season, you play close to your best baseball. And right now they're in a sprint. How many games are left?
55.
All right, 55 games left. That's a sprint. 2 months feels like a long time, but 55 games, it's going to go like that.
Right. I mean, and the regular season this year ends earlier than it ever has, or in a long time, not ever. September 28th. I mean, they don't go to October 1st anymore. They move it up. There's the wild card series. So, I mean, it will be over before we know it. And that's the thing with this year's deadline. On the other side of it, there's only 53 games for the Padres. Like you've already played 109. So the impact from the deadline is only 53 games worth of impact plus the postseason. But they've already played 109 after Wednesday.
And I've been saying that August is going to be their toughest month. They can navigate August. You feel really good. To be truthful with you, that run has already started. It started last night against teams that are good, like teams that are over 500. Mets, St. Louis, Boston. Now the Giants are in a free fall, but technically they're still above 500. Dodgers twice, Seattle. You don't get a break in there. Arizona, they're sliding, but it's always been difficult for them to win in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows with the Giants, and you face the Dodgers for 6 games in August. So the tough stretch of your season has begun, and it started last night. So
yeah, absolutely. And we'll see how they navigate it over the course of the next month. And it does lighten up at some point, late August, early September. All right, 2 days out from the trade deadline. The latest reports for you on the other side. Plus, if you missed Mike Ferrin at MLB Network Radio, you'll hear that conversation coming up at 4:30. We'll get to the wrap at 4 p.m. We've got a giveaway for you today that we'll share with you on the other side as well. Jon and Jim with you until 6 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Sid's Carpet Barn. We'll start with the Padres that took game 1 over the New York Mets last night thanks to an Elias Diaz walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th inning. Game 2 of their 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Ryan Bergert, he gets to start for the Padres. And one trade to report today, according to Jeff Passan, the Blue Jays are acquiring, or they did acquire, Orioles right-handed reliever Sir Anthony Dominguez. With Kohl's Fine Flooring closing, Sid's Carpet Barn is San Diego's undisputed flooring leader, carrying a huge selection of high-end flooring and durable, economical flooring too. All at the lowest prices in town. Visit sidscarpetbarn.com.
Count me in for this, Jim.
What?
Here's some breaking non-trade deadline news. Being reported by Variety that Shohei Ohtani interpreter gambling scandal scripted series has a deal with Stars. So there will be a Shohei Ohtani interpreter gambling scandal scripted series coming to Stars. It'll be written by Alex Convery. So get ready for that. Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter, that scandal, coming to a scripted series on television near you. I'll watch that.
Well,
Who plays Ohtani?
Is it another, like, is it showing Ohtani in the cover up here for Ohtani's gambling problems or what?
Well, it's a scripted series. So they like relive the situation, the drama, what played out.
So they're going to make Ohtani look like an idiot, not knowing that his best friend interpreter for however many years was stealing millions of dollars from him.
They may tune in to Stars in 2026.
Then they're going to make Ipe look like Kaiser Sose and the greatest criminal mastermind in the history of criminal masterminds.
Right. So they're going to make Ohtani completely oblivious in this series, potentially.
We don't know. It's fun news. The Shohei Ohtani scripted TV series about the gambling scandal is officially happening. Stars just bought it. Stay tuned.
Or they're going to show but maybe what happened, which is it's great to have an interpreter to cover up for you.
Yeah, like the situation that's playing out right now with Class A.
Yeah.
Where like we may never see him pitch ever again.
No.
But the accusation is he did bet on his team. Is that the accusation?
I'm pretty sure. I haven't
delved deep into it, but it is a gambling investigation. I haven't done the deep dive, but yeah, it's like we may never see again from Emmanuel Clase. The Shohei Ohtani thing, honestly, if not for a scripted series on Stars, it's like this thing has completely gone away.
Well, yeah, it's been settled. He's gone to jail, Ipe, and baseball, made sure that their golden goose was completely protected.
Yeah, it's an odd situation, but it won't impact the trade deadline probably.
No, Ohtani's not getting traded.
Yeah, I don't think Ohtani's getting traded either. All right. If you missed Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, we are going to have that conversation for you coming up at 4:30. There were some names in there that he mentioned to us that we have discussed over the last 90 minutes or so. Mike Tauchman of the White Sox, Ryan O'Hearn of the Orioles, Ramon Laureano as well. All three of those players have had good offensive seasons. He also mentioned a reliever in there that was drawing some conversation earlier I saw on social media, Anthony Bender. Or is it Bednar? I think it was Bender. Anthony Bender, reliever for the Marlins, who's posted a 1.83 ERA this year in 45 games. He has a sub-1 whip as well.
Sign me up.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it might not fit under the area of, do the Padres need a reliever? Well, yeah, you can't have too many of them. They've turned to these 4 guys throughout the course of the season to near perfection. Adding a 5th isn't a bad idea. Plus, if Suarez were to move, the idea of backfilling with a guy with a sub-2 ERA, which is better numbers, obviously, than Robert Suarez has this year, that sounds appealing to me as well.
So I'm thinking to myself, Anthony Bender, that name sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
I go to his baseball reference page.
Yeah.
Are you on it right now?
I am.
You know where I'm going with this?
I think I do.
He grew up in my hometown.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
And he went to a high school in my district. And he went to the junior college that I went to before I came to San Diego.
Do you know him?
No, because I might. I mean, he's 30 years old. He's 6 years younger than me. So I wasn't around in the high school.
Were you dominating him when he was like 6 and you were 13? Were you just throwing freaking cutters past him?
I didn't play. I played baseball, but I didn't play baseball in high school.
Were you posting him up in basketball?
Probably. I mean, he's 6'4", 205, so maybe he had a growth spurt, and I don't know, but I'm all in for Anthony Bender now.
As a backyard guy, a guy you grew up with.
Yeah, grew up in my hometown, went to Casa Grande High School. And
Super cool.
And then he went to Santa Rosa Junior College. He got drafted from Santa Rosa Junior College in the 20th round by the Kansas City Royals in the 2016 MLB draft. Sign me up for some Anthony Bender. Hometown kid. Well, my hometown.
Right.
But
not San Diego. But
not San Diego. But yeah, dude, give me some Anthony Bender, bro.
He's in the midst of a career year. He's got a 1.83 ERA in 45 appearances. And again, he has a sub-1 whip. Again, we're going to hear more names. I feel as if today we've already heard more names. And we've heard possible landing spots for someone like Dylan Cease. And I feel as if we'll hear a lot more names over the next 48 hours. I'm waiting for that first move. I am, from Preller. I'm waiting on that first move. But again, I'm not sitting here holding my breath. It may be Thursday. I think we'll get something before Thursday. I really do. But even if it is Thursday morning, I'm not going to say he's not doing anything. I think come Thursday morning, if the Padres haven't done anything, I still expect a slew of moves. I really do. I still feel that way right now. I'd be shocked if there weren't. I'm still going to go with more than 2 moves. I think the Padres will make more than 2 moves between now and 3 p.m. Thursday.
Yeah, I'm going to go with minimum 3.
Yeah.
I'll go 3 moves. 4 would be a lot, but I'm going 3 moves. Marty tweeted this out moments ago. Marty Caswell. She said, Dylan Cease got hit in the head last night. Obviously,
I do, yeah.
He had a CT scan after the end of the game.
Right.
This is a funny tweet by Marty. Dylan Cease says he's feeling good after a CT scan and getting hit in the head. Meanwhile, a ticker on Major League Baseball Network says the Astros are interested in him. Plays on a TV right next to his locker.
Oh, interesting.
Man, that's got to be weird, right?
I mean, I don't know. Like, if you're a veteran, like, listen, it's big business. You have Scott Boras as your agent. You were traded the day the season started. You have to fly separately to Korea. It's part of it. It's part of the gig. I feel like some of this Cease did to himself. The Padres could have moved Dylan Cease in the offseason. They bet on his future. They thought trading him would make them worse off. They kept him around. They thought he would be the one to help lead them to the postseason. It hasn't necessarily played out that way. I feel as if Dylan Cease was having a year like last year, there's no world where you're moving him. But because that hasn't been the case, and because you're going up against a clock where he's no longer on your team in 2 months, he's opened up the possibility of moving him. I feel like that's more on Dylan Cease than it is the organization.
So you've also been on record saying the Padres will 100% trade Luis Campusano at the trade deadline.
I do feel that way, yes. And I feel even stronger about that right now.
There's no chance that Campy's in this organization past Thursday.
I'm dying on that hill. I will make a bet. I would love to make a bet on that because that's something and that's the trade for me that happens at 3:03 p.m.
It's like Campusano's traded for cash considerations to
Sacramento.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I honestly.
Or Miami or something.
This is a forgotten man. I forgot for a moment he was in the organization. I assume he's in AAA, still hitting home runs every 5 minutes.
Yes, he just hit another one.
No, he didn't. In the middle of the afternoon, he didn't just hit a home run.
No,
I assume. But he's basically become like a missing person in this organization. How many times we've been told this year he's going to get an opportunity? They're going to give him the everyday DH job. Oh, he's going to get a chance to catch. He's had like 20 at-bats. Now he doesn't have a hit in the major leagues, but I'd be shocked if Luis Campusano was still in the organization and do this.
I want to see if he's done anything recently.
He's done a lot in AAA. That's the problem.
Let's see here. They tweeted yesterday he was in the lineup. I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything that he's done recently.
No, just a 978 OPS with 15 home runs in AAA this year. But the issue is in the major leagues in 27 plate appearances, he has 0 hits. He's 0 for 21. He does have 6 walks. So he's getting on base. I don't think Campy makes it past.
His last home run was 6 days ago. The tweet that I read you and you lost your mind.
I did lose my mind.
El Paso tweeted out, "Oh, Campy, my king, my hero. We love you and we will forever love you. El Paso is lucky to witness your greatness."
Dude, he's the classic. Whoever El Paso is playing on Thursday, he's going to like switch clubhouses and be playing for the other team that same night.
We'll see.
Like if Luis Campusano survives this, I don't understand as to why. He's like they've had opportunities to play him.
He's in purgatory in this.
Purgatory, exactly.
He's just like help me.
Let him go elsewhere.
He's just
free him.
He's just free falling. Like I can't move.
Dude,
help.
Completely. That's completely how I feel about it. I think again, in the grand scheme, who cares? Nobody cares.
It's something that we care about.
I care so much about it.
It's like a side thing that we care about.
The strongest feeling I have on the deadline, way stronger than I feel about Dylan Cease or Robert Suarez, is that Luis Campusano will not be here. I'm confident, but we'll see if that plays out or not.
Also, by the way, speaking of the El Paso Chihuahuas, for some reason, because it was just reminded to me by our YouTube chat. Hey guys, why'd you block the Jon and Jim account on social media?
Oh, El Paso?
Yeah.
Probably be something you posted.
I didn't post anything bad about El Paso.
You might have said something about one of their players.
On the Jon and Jim account?
Just on Jon and Jim. You might have said Campy can't hit. And then Campy
I never said
word.
that.
You have said, and I guarantee if I went back through every wrap-up show where Jon and Jim, we have been critical of Trenton Brooks or Tyler Wade. Basically the entire AAA roster.
Okay, but that's me complaining about them when they're at the major league roster.
Well, maybe on the way back to like,
not sitting there like, hey man, Mason McCoy needs to step it up for the El Paso Chihuahuas tomorrow night.
I don't know.
Hey, Jonathan Peralta. Like,
you want me to ask Tim Haggerty?
Yeah, Tim, bro, why is our account blocked?
I'm not asking. That's just awkward. All right, the wrap coming up at 4 p.m. We'll tell you about today's giveaway on the other side. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio at 4:30. Deadline's less than 48 hours out. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, so we're giving away in the 4:00 hour a pair of tickets to see Blues Traveler. You know, harmonica. Na, na, na. I was a huge Blues Traveler fan. Gin Blossoms.
Wait, do that again?
How's the song go, Brent? What's the name of the song that everyone loves?
Run around.
How's it go? I was saying it.
I'm not singing it.
I know. It's Brent's birthday. He doesn't have to sing it.
No. Feels like I'm actually at the concert. That's really good.
You don't even have to go.
I don't have to go. Just listen to John sing it.
Free on the iHeartRadio app. This Blues Traveler and Gin Blossom show with Spin Doctors.
It was so good. They're probably going to copyright us.
Yeah, you're not kidding. This is Gallagher Square, Petco Park, Saturday, August 16th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. We'll give those away in the 4:00 hour. Coming up in the 4:00 hour, we'll get to the wrap as well. I want to steal this from the wrap and talk about it right now. It's not, do we owe an apology to Xander Bogaerts? You're still taking shots at him. Last night on the wrap-up show, you're like, we've lowered our expectations on Xander. I'm like, we have not. Xander has played really, really, really well. It's okay. Are you getting all things from one guy? Maybe not, but he's completely turned his season around. His numbers since the middle of June, he's got the highest batting average in the National League. He's got the 7th highest WAR in the National League since June 16th. Don't you feel as if it's time to recognize what Xander Bogaerts has done? We can't turn back the clock. We can't take away him slumping for forever. I'm on board with that. Completely on board with that. And what's happened over the last month doesn't predict the future. But shouldn't we recognize and almost commemorate, maybe do a statue or a plaque or something in left field? Shouldn't we do something to honor the Xander Bogaerts June 16th to July 28th stretch?
No. Talk to me.
Dig deeper. Yes.
Talk to me at the end of the year.
Keep digging.
Again,
Dig in.
A month does not make us
Year.
A year. A month does not make up for awful 2.5 years, but it is a good start.
Okay.
He's been really good.
What'd you say?
He's been really good. He's been really good. I mean, he's taken his batting average from the lowest point of the year. It was like 222.
What's it at now?
All the way up to 270.
That's crazy.
His OPS, the lowest point of his season, that Dodgers series before he had that game time double in the 9th inning, was 618.
What is it now? 730 something, right?
731. He's taken his OPS up by over 100 points
in a month.
In a month.
Yeah.
That's great. He's played really good defense.
Yep.
You know there's a butt coming. He's played really good defense.
But he's going to have to consistently do it. But the problem, I get it. Let's see, is the point. We can't say it will or won't happen.
No, I am recognizing that Xander Bogaerts, this is much better than the alternative, which we have seen way too much. And a healthy Xander, presumably, and a Xander that is getting on base at the clip that he's getting on, being a guy that is not an automatic out like he used to be and was.
Right.
A guy that actually is a little bit of a threat at the plate. That is much better than what we've seen.
He's not a little bit of a threat at the plate. I get it. He's not going to be Aaron Judge. He's not walking out anytime soon and stumbling into 30 home runs, let alone 60. But his on-base percentage since June 16th, I don't have it, has to be 450. And his batting average since June 16th is 370 something. So he's not a little bit of a threat at the plate. He has been as good of a player in terms of reaching bases as any Padre over that stretch.
Yeah,
I'm just looking for you to admit.
No. Let me. I do admit.
And I've been critical. I'm not saying I haven't been critical of Xander Bogaerts.
I do admit he's been great.
You said very good.
He's been very good. Here's where the butt comes in.
Okay,
and it's the only thing that's been missing from Xander's hot streak.
Runs batted in.
The production that you're looking for a guy hitting in the middle of your lineup. Okay. Since his hot streak, John. He's got 9 RBIs. He's got 3 home runs. Overall this year, he's got 7 homers and 37 RBIs. That is the only thing that I would like to see improvement on. And if it doesn't improve, but he still hits around 280 with a 760 OPS, you take that. because, like I said, the alternative, and we've seen the alternative, is awful. And he was at a point of the season like hovering around his OPS dipping in the 500s. So to have that and then bring it all the way up to where it is now, that is very impressive. I just am just looking for more production in the sense of driving in runs, because at the end of the year, if Xander's got 10 home runs and 52 RBIs, I don't know, man. That's just I just want more of a guy hitting in the middle of the lineup. But if he has 10 home runs, 52 RBIs, he's hitting 283 with a 770 OPS.
That's a good year.
That's a good year.
It's different than what he did in Boston.
It's not worth the contract, but it's a good year.
No, but I mean, listen, Fernando Tatis Jr. has 44 RBIs. I get it. He leads off. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is supposed to bat himself in, right? He's supposed to hit 30. He's supposed to fall out of bed at 30 home runs. Mm-hmm. We'll see if he gets there. Tatis this year has 44 RBIs. Bogaerts is 37. Jake Cronenworth has 32. Okay. Jackson Merrill, I know he's missed time. He has 38. So, there's not a lot of Padres that are going to end up anywhere near 100 RBIs. There's one, is my guess. Sheets has fallen off. He's not going to hit for 100 RBIs this year. Obviously, he has 52 right now. It's basically Manny Machado. Manny Machado is the only guy approaching 100 RBIs for this team, and that might be well enough. Listen, you and I are on the same page. We've both been very critical of Xander by and large. I think deservedly so. He's taken on the criticism based on his poor level of play by and large.
And he's turned his season around, and that's credit to him, man.
He has completely turned it around. Every time he is at the plate, I've texted you this 100 times. I'm like, this guy is constantly on base. Every time he's at the plate, I feel like he's reaching. And for I cannot believe I'm saying that. I am truthfully saying that. He is constantly on base. And when he's not on base, look at the St. Louis series, he smokes everything. He had a game against St. Louis where he hit 4 balls 105 miles per hour. It was 0 for 4. So I'm just telling you, I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. I just hope it continues for the Padres. But you can't spend like that. You can't spend that $280 million and have no good prolonged stretch out of Xander Bogaerts, and hopefully it continues. And I will say this real quick. If they make the postseason and he plays anything like this in the second half of the year, he can be a real asset. Mm-hmm. He's been through it. He's won. He's played at a high, he's been through all that. So get him to the postseason feeling confident. That is a massive win.
Yeah, his July has been solid.
Solid.
Well, you're saying it's the best thing ever because
he's been very, very, very good.
Because Xander at one point this year was awful.
No, I'm saying because his July is flat out good.
It's good. It's solid.
No, okay, good is better than solid. By saying solid, you're saying
310 with the 823 OPS. Would you consider that very, 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 very good?
I mean,
or just very solid?
His career OPS is 798.
I don't want to bring him down because he's
bring
played
him down. This is better than who he's been as a player in his career.
Know, but still, take the Xander numbers from previously this year out of the equation. You give anybody this month, you would say that's a solid month, would you not?
I'd say it's a great month for anyone other than Manny Machado.
Okay.
310? You're kidding.
We've seen players and on this team have months where they hit 340 with a 920 OPS. That's a great month. A 310 average with 820 OPS, that is a solid, very good month.
I mean, I do think it's a very good month.
Yeah.
I think by saying solid, you're trying to put him down in July.
I think that there's this
You think there's a new set of rules for Xander, even based on his recent play being good? That if he was doing this in Boston, you'd be like,
No, there's no new set of rules.
You're saying because we're expecting less out of Xander.
I think that when we look at Xander's numbers and we have to recalibrate our expectations for him, this is the expectation that he's setting for himself going into the future. So it's a solid, very good player that hits for a high average, doesn't drive in a bunch of runs, doesn't hit many home runs, but he's on base a good amount. And he has an OPS, the high 700s to low 800s. And that, Xander, if you get that, that's solid. That's very good.
I'm just saying his last year in Boston, 833 OPS, 307 batting average. That's what they were buying. And that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Well,
they weren't buying a solid player for $280 million.
Well, if you're, spending $280 million, you want that season from Xander, not in just a month span. You want that from him for the entire year, right?
I agree, but we can't control what happened previously. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm just saying Xander Bogaerts, for my money, has been great over the last month and a half. I really do believe that. I wouldn't say it if I didn't feel that way. Now, again, I'll rip him the next time he goes, 0 for his next 7. All right, we'll start the 4 o'clock hour with the wrap. You'll hear from Mike Ferrin coming up at 4:30. The latest on the trade deadline until 6 p.m. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760.
All right, this update is brought to you by Sid's Carpet Barn. Padres and Mets game 2 of their 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. Padres took game 1 last night with a 7-6 victory thanks to an Elias Diaz walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ryan Bergert gets the start in game 2 tonight for the Padres. And one trade to report today. Jeff Passan reported it earlier. It's now official. The Blue Jays, they're acquiring Orioles right-handed reliever Sir Anthony Dominguez with Kohl's Fine Flooring closing. Sid's Carpet Barn is San Diego's undisputed floor leader, carrying a huge selection of high-end flooring and durable, economical flooring too, all at the lowest prices in town. Visit sidscarpetbarn.com.
It's Jon and Jim to warm up that drive home.
Here's what may happen, and I can already see the reaction on social media, and if we're on the air and this happens. Oh, the Padres have traded Dylan Cease to the Astros for 3 people we've never heard of. How could AJ Preller make that trade? And then 22 minutes later, 2 of those 3 players that they acquired for Dylan Cease go to the Yankees.
Yeah, he's not afraid to take prospects back in a trade and then immediately ship them out.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if he ends up doing that.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego, Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. You're going to hear Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio at 4:30. We're going to hear from Mike Shildt this hour as well, talking with the media. There's an update here on Michael King. We're going to share momentarily. Jim and I spent the last 6 minutes talking about Xander Bogaerts.
Fighting. We're not even fighting.
No, we're not. We're saying the same thing. I do agree with the general idea that, yeah, Xander Bogaerts isn't going to be National League Player of the Month with an 832 OPS. And
we were like, he's the greatest player ever. And I'm like,
saying,
dude, he's been really good.
Really good is okay. I think we're meeting there because you're right. Is great maybe a bridge too far? Yes. Yeah. I personally think solid is a little underselling. And I think in between is probably where he's been. Has he been great? No, he's not Aaron Judge. Has he been good? I think he's been better than good. So I think he's in between.
He's been very good. Very, like I said, very solid month. Very good since the Dodger series.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Xander, man.
No, like we're not going to run around having the full conversation. I don't know how it's happened. Truthfully, I did not expect it. And I get your point. From the lowest of low, there's only one place to go, and that's up. Basically, when he had a 600 OPS,
always could get worse.
We didn't think he was going to finish the year with a 500 OPS. I mean, even last year he had a 80, 90, something like that, OPS sub 700. So the point is, he was kind of rock bottoming out on his career, and he's been better since that point. You're right. If it was Shohei Ohtani putting up these numbers over the last month, you'd be like, what happened to Ohtani?
It's
on base,
solid,
but he's not hitting
for
power.
That's my point.
But he's not Ohtani.
I know. That's also my point. Is like he's not Ohtani. So this is where you hope that Xander lives. Would you like it to be better from a run production standpoint and a power standpoint? Like, yes, you're paying this guy a bunch of money. But that's just also like never going to happen with Xander. You're never. I don't envision Xander driving in 100 runs or hitting 25 to 30 bombs for this team ever.
Would you say that because of his 7 home runs, 6 of them have been 360 feet or fewer this year? Because I do think that's he's hit one ball 400 feet this year.
That's crazy.
What? So yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, he hit 33 home runs in Boston. Boston's different. We said that the day they signed him.
Now, one thing that is encouraging about what Xander has done is and this is me. Like I don't like when people say this because I'm a big just like results guy, but like he is hitting the ball very hard.
But you can say it because he's getting the results.
There are times that he has not gotten the results,
but he's still, to your point, from his overall batting average in July is over 300. So hitting the ball hard and hitting 310 means okay. That's a good indicator. Hitting the ball hard and hitting 210, we don't want to hear it. But hitting the ball hard and hitting 310, yeah, I buy that.
And then the one number. Or the one stat that you look at to why he's not driven in a bunch of runs and why I'm hesitant to go to the man, Xander's great, is he's awful with runners in scoring position this year. Like flat out awful. And it's not just a small sample size.
What's it? Can we like parlay it or parse it down to more recent? Not that we know.
I could. That's going to take me longer than 20 seconds that I have right now.
So we don't have July RISP numbers from Bogaerts.
Well, if he was great in July, man, he must have been even like
we said
worse than this.
He was terrible with runners in scoring position.
How much worse could you get than 163 with a 518? What?
162 would be worse than 163.
Okay, but if he was great in July, wouldn't you think his batting average with runners in scoring position would go up?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, to your point.
So if he must have been hitting like, if he was hitting 350 with runners in scoring position this month, then he must have been hitting like 050 before that.
Here's what I would say about that 163 batting average with runners in scoring position.
Oh yeah, move that goalpost, baby.
I think he's gotten unlucky.
Oh, move that goalpost, baby.
Because when you look at what he's done with no one on base.
Oh, okay.
No, it's, by the way, it's not moving goalposts to say what he's done since June 16th. What he's done since June 16th, Jim, is better than what he's done since July 1st. Moving the goalpost is saying July 1st. Wouldn't you want a larger sample size being good for a player, not a shorter one?
You would.
So, like, if from June 16th through the end of the season, his numbers are great, I'd prefer that than July 1st through the end of the regular season.
Calvin in our chat says 12 bombs and 50 RBIs. That's a great half for most players. And that's
12 bombs and 50 RBIs is a great half for most players, correct?
And that could be Xander's year, production-wise. But if he does have a high average and his on-base percentage continues to be where it is and only goes up, and his OPS stays where it's at, only goes up.
Right.
From where he was at the point of the season at the Dodgers series, where he was at an all-time low. I mean, it was like DFA Xander, like get him off this team. That would be kind of impressive.
Improbable.
To be like, wow, Xander actually put together a good, second half of his season.
You have to remember with the Padres, and the point is valid, the 12 home runs, 50 RBIs is a good half. There is one Padre trending for more than 75 RBIs.
Yeah, his name is Manny Machado.
One on the entire team. Like the way the Padres play, we talked about it the other night here on the wrap-up show. As bad as the Giants' offense has been, the Padres, at least as recently as a day or two or three ago, had scored fewer runs. Like, this isn't some bandbox, 100-degree all summer, hair on fire offense. This isn't Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper in the middle of your lineup. And if it is, I mean, I'd like to see it with Machado and Tatis. Machado has done his part. Tatis at times, but you got my point. It's like laborious with their offense, right? 2024, they figured it out somehow. By and large, man, the offense, we're always wanting more from the Padres offense.
And as of right now, still in the National League, they have scored the third least amount of runs in the National League.
To Colorado and Miami?
Nope, Colorado and Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, I'm sorry. That's crazy.
The Giants, who are awful, have scored more runs than the Padres this year.
That's insane.
Marlins, they've scored more runs. Braves have now scored more runs than the Padres.
Right.
So I get your point.
Yeah.
Like, nobody on this team is going to have.
Nobody's been greater than many.
A bunch of RBIs this year.
Like, seriously, who's been, when I say, like, because I'm with you, I'll walk back great if you walk up solid. Because here's what I'm saying. Who's been
I already
great?
did walk up solid.
So I walk back great. I
Okay.
do too. I'm saying, who's been great? Because the only player with a mid 800 OPS is Manny Machado, 868. The second best player on the team has an 817 OPS, which is very solid in Fernando Tatis Jr. But again, when you use his comparison the other way, the 965 comparison, what do we say about Tatis? He's been below average, which at times we've probably said.
So Tatis's 818 OPS is very solid, but Xander's 820 OPS for the month is great.
Well, it's very solid, but not solid. Okay, I see your point. But Tatis, here's the one thing I would
and this
say.
is not me.
But when was Xander a 965 OPS player?
When has he been?
Because Tatis was for 3 years.
Well, September 2023.
No, but I'm saying even in Boston, was Xander ever a 9? I'll look. Like, was he a
for a season?
900 OPS guy?
No, not for a season.
That's what I'm saying. So he's never been. He's a middle infielder, which Tatis was at 1.2. Like, your expectation for a middle infielder is not a mid 900 OPS, where Tatis kind of like did things that nobody was doing that at shortstop, 965 OPS when Tatis was doing it.
Basically, what it comes down to is Xander's really important to this team, whether you like it or not. He's very important. The Padres have expressed that in the offseason, how important Xander was to this year in particular. Going back to shortstop after he played second base last year, how they spent their money. Like, they spent their money on Manny and Merrill and Xander and the pitchers and they've spent their money. So in turn, they need those guys to produce and perform. Xander's not going anywhere. So with that, he's very important to this team. And playing the way he's been playing is a very good thing for this Padres team, because the alternative, like I've said, it was ugly. And it still could be. We still have to see if Xander can keep this up for the next 2 months. The season doesn't end tomorrow.
I think this is who he is the next 8.5 years. I'm confident. I'm kidding.
Honestly, that'd be really good.
By the way, I don't know how this happened because he was never a 900 OPS guy. In 2019, he had a 939 OPS.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Which was very solid. 939 OPS, 33 home runs,
So wait, hold on. 33
OPS.
home runs is very solid. When I said
kidding.
Xander's had a very solid.
I'm kidding. I mean, that year is like out of this world Hall of Fame for a middle infielder.
For Xander, it is.
That's like A-Rod. Well, maybe not.
A-Rod's better.
Yeah, it's true. But in the post-steroid era, middle infielders with 40 home runs, 120 RBIs, like a Toddy.
Didn't he have like
season.
50 doubles?
It was something ridiculous, dude. So again, you're right. I mean, is he ever going to be that player again? Let me answer that. No, but I'll take what he's been for the last 40 something days. We're going to hear from Mike Shildt on the other side. He has spoken with the media. We'll share that conversation with you. Coming up on the other side, Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, coming up at 4:30. We'll get to the wrap later on. Trade deadline less than 2 days away, Thursday at 3 p.m. Don't go anywhere. We're hearing from Mike Shildt. Pre-game comments with the media. Remember, the Padres have won 3 straight. They'll play game 2 tonight of their 3-game series against the New York Mets at 6:40. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, max down on credit cards. You're struggling with high interest debt. You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey guys, it is Schaefer. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. It's the Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto. It really is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved. They did it in less than 24 hours. Paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. Just a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now, start the conversation. Here's the number, 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Again, 619-207-4336. Get debt relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Your chance to win Blues Traveler tickets this hour. We'll hear Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, on the Padres at the deadline coming up in about 12 minutes. We'll get to the wrap. But let's hear from Mike Shildt. He sat down with the media before today's game here against the Mets for about 5 or 6 minutes. We're not 100% positive where this starts. My expectation is he's talking about what's next for Michael King, who threw a sim game yesterday. So what's next for Michael?
We'll find out together.
King? Let's find out if that's where he starts.
You know what? He's been able to throw his pitches where he wants them to go. He's been able to, handle big moments. He's already been battle tested and come through. He's not making situations bigger than they are, and he's just making, looking to execute pitches.
Okay, so
I'm going to go with Ryan Berger.
I'm going to go with Berger too. Tonight's starter. He's not talking about Dylan Cease.
No.
And it doesn't sound like he's talking about a guy coming off a sim game.
He's not talking about Dylan.
So, man, he makes some big pitches in that spot. I mean, he has in his career.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with
that
you.
one pitch yesterday to Trent Brooks. Woof.
I'm with
It
you.
was a sim game 7 of the World Series.
Right.
Yeah.
Berger is the likely candidate that he's talking about. Tonight's starter against the Mets.
All right, we're going with Ryan Berger. That's who Shildt was talking about there. Brent, continue.
And it seems like you guys have gotten great production out of guys that have gotten an opportunity to fill in the starting rotation with Astros.
We really have, the ability for guys to step up in place of some guys that, we know the names that haven't been there, but the names are coming back. And Darvish is obviously here, but, having, Vasquez do what he's done really the last 2 years. And then Kolek, who was, caught in a little bit of a move of numbers, who's pitched really well, but we get Bergered up, allows us to get guys a little bit extra time, but Berger, Kolek, those guys have been very valuable in our season success, and their flexibility has been very important.
Yeah, Kevin Cheese getting the day off. Looks like Manny getting the day off his legs as well. Just normal rest days for both those guys.
Well, yeah, we're in a situation. Bryce has played well, and he's gets an opportunity to go out and against the lefty. It's more based on that. That's reflective of Gavin, and Iglesias has played well, and he's been able to pass the, Manny and, Bogey and Crony and Louie have played a lot as far as being a lineup a lot, but them having the ability and freedom to get a, day off their feet, especially night game, day game, and pass that spot around has been very important as well.
It was mentioned last night that Dylan Cease might get some imaging just to make sure everything was okay after getting in the back of the head. Was that done and everything came back?
It was done, and thankfully it was negative, which is clearly positive. And outside of the, the feeling of got hit in the head and the discomfort there, but anything as far as anything of like swelling or bleeding has been eliminated, which is clearly good.
Yeah. Any word yet on Michael King, how he came out of his simulated game yesterday?
Yeah, I talked to Michael today, and is in very good spirits. They're very excited, and came out in a good spot, really good spot. And we're talking about what's next, and what next looks like we're figuring out the day, Saturday or Sunday, but we're figuring out, but looking like him being able to get out there and getting a rehab assignment, likely at AAA.
You mentioned Bryce playing well. What's impressed you in particular about what he's brought so far?
He's been able to use his skill set. He's a really good defender. Everything checks out in that box. The eye test, the metrics. He goes out and he's made done a nice job in the outfield, whether it's late in defense or the last couple of times out. He's been able to get some starts. Goes out, makes the plays, does all the little things. It's a cutoff man, etc. And then offensively, the switch hitter helps. He's been able to contribute from both sides of the plate, but, he's been able to get bunts down, move runners. He's good on the bases. So just, he's got a skill set that helps beat the other team a couple different ways. Taking good at bats.
All right, Mike.
Mike, do you believe that this week is over personally? Into distractions of the trade market guys?
I wouldn't say I'm relieved. It's part of the season of baseball, so you accept what it is. I don't look at it as burdensome or a threat or a headache, or I just recognize there's going to be a trade deadline, and we're going to show up and play baseball, and there's going to be some emotions that come with it. There's going to be conversation come with it, and just a matter of going and doing it. So when it's over, it'll be over. And we'll just move on to whatever's next, which is the last third of the season. So, But I do understand the question. But I guess my wrap up answer is I'm not going to make it any bigger than it already is. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't have a Twitter account or Instagram or really anything. I have a general manager that I talk to, and that allows me to know what I need to know, and we go from there.
Hi, Mike. Yesterday there was a lot of talk on social media about some strike calls that look far off the plate, and that brought back to the conversation of bringing the ABS system to Major League Baseball. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think that will help the game?
I don't know if it'll help the game, and what my thoughts are. I don't put a lot of thought into it because you only have so much bandwidth, and to the point about trade deadlines and all the different things that come with this job. I'm really intentful about focusing on things that I can control, and the automated ball strike is not something that's here, and I think I'm going to be able to control. And people that are caretakers of this game will make that decision, and my job is to understand it and support it. And so, the umpires, I think, do an excellent job. It's a very hard job, and they're human, and so there's grace given to that degree, and I think they do a good job, but the league will decide what ends up happening with it ultimately.
I can't imagine umpiring, by the way. I mean, it's not like it's the worst job in the world. I just can't imagine umpiring.
Yeah, it's just you get no praise for it, and the only thing when you get noticed is when you make an awful call and
someone.
Everyone hates you, no one likes you.
Yeah, like it's a bizarre job.
No one's like, man, I love that umpire.
Nobody's like that. The news out of there is Michael King is going to make a rehab assignment on either Saturday or Sunday with the El Paso Chihuahuas, who have blocked Jon and Jim on Twitter, but they haven't blocked Michael King of the Padres. So Michael King will make a rehab either Saturday or Sunday. You start doing the math, Jim, and he could be back next weekend. If he made one rehab start, he could be back not this weekend, but next, potentially for the Padres.
So I'm going to go August 9th against Boston.
What day of the week is that? Like Friday?
That's a Saturday night, 5:40 start time. I'll go with not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming right now they'd lean on the side of one rehab start because you have a veteran pitcher that wants to get back there.
Pushing it, right?
More than two is pushing it. Less than two being one. Yeah, I mean, listen, with Darvish, they tried one. It didn't work out. They shut him back down. Then they did the controlled environment sim game, and the results haven't been great. With King, it seems like they're being more aggressive. And my guess is this: if King feels good out of Saturday or Sunday, he will be in the major leagues for his next appearance.
Yes, I agree with that.
He's not going to be like, oh, yeah, send me back to El Paso in a week.
Like, I just need to make one more start. I don't think this is going to drag on like the Darvish saga, but I do think one rehab assignment, however many pitches they want to have him throw, and then he's back in the big leagues by next weekend if everything goes well.
And then get that endorsement with Serta or whatever, sleep number. All right.
Seriously, make sure you sleep right.
From that point on.
Like you can't sleep wrong.
He's been scratched from
strapping myself down to the bed.
Seriously. All right, we're going to hear from Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio on the other side. His thoughts of the Padres at the deadline, including the possibility of the Padres moving Dylan Cease, plus your chance to win tickets to see Blues Traveler later this hour. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres and Mets, Game 2 of their 3-game series tonight at Petco Park, 6:40 first pitch. Ryan Bergert on the mound for the Padres, and one trade to report for today, according to Jeff Passan. The Blue Jays, they're acquiring Orioles right-handed pitcher Sir Anthony Dominguez. That trade is now official. It's a race to the rebate finish line. Homeowners are saving $500 instantly with Anderson Plumbing's water heater buyback program and qualifying for instant rebates. You better call before rebates run out. Book today at andersonpha.com. Nobody wows clients like they do.
All right, your chance to win those Blues Traveler tickets coming up in about 15 minutes. But if you missed it earlier, Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, he is so good this time of year. He's so locked in to all 30 clubs. And of course, the topic today, the Padres at the deadline. We started the conversation by asking what type of return the Padres could expect in a trade for Dylan Cease.
Yeah, well, my pleasure always. I mean, I think even with the ERA being high, the peripherals are still pretty strong, right? His ERA predictors say that their run average should be more than a run lower. I think you're probably looking at, if he really is available, he's probably the guy that can get a prospect in that, like, 50 to 70 range on a top 100 list, whereas most of the others can't get, other players available can't get that. So, and that's just be the start, right? So you're probably looking at someone in that range, and then, another pretty good prospect, and then a player to dream on that AJ Preller undoubtedly has snuck into a complex league to see while we're in bucket hat, because only AJ would do that, because he's like, nobody loves going to the backfields more than him. So I would say that's probably about what it is. And I do think that it's interesting. Like, I saw the report, I'm sure you guys have been talking about it, with Houston being interested in him. It's like, well, like, Houston has a really deep farm system. I just kind of have this feeling that, like, if Cease is going to get moved, it's going to be part of a much bigger transaction, whether immediately or secondarily, in that they're going to be like essentially a 3-team trade. And it doesn't necessarily need to be one specifically, but like those prospects that you're acquiring are either backfilling ones you're sending out or are being shipped to somewhere else. Because I feel like with some of the names that are mentioned, unless you're going to do it with the Cubs, it's the only spot that makes sense. And even there, you're dealing with risk when you're talking about position players that haven't really established themselves in the big leagues. They would be at the top of their list.
Would you trade Cease? Do you think this would be a risky move if they do move him at the deadline here?
Yeah, I think it's risky. I mean, I just think it's, I said this in another spot. Like, I think it's really hard to trade players off your major league roster when you're in contention. And I think there's a couple reasons for it. One, like, most teams would love to be able to trade prospects to be able to get what they have because they're trying to strengthen what they do. Two, like, how do you replace Dylan Cease, really, right? Because, I mean, the odds are overwhelming the next 2 months are going to look better than the first 4 have from him just based on his career. And again, when we talk about where his strikeout rate is and home run rate, a home run for the Grand Slam last night notwithstanding. But, like, I think it's tough to replace that guy. So I do think it's risky, but I think you have to make a lot of other moves in order to do that. I think the other part of it is that there's usually like an acclimation period for a week or so with new players coming in. And so those first couple of days, I feel like after the deadline, even if you're just adding one significant piece, can be pretty uneven for a squad as everybody's kind of trying to figure out their new roles and figure out how to play well together. And I think that's, when the wildcard race is as tight as it is, that's a challenge. Now, if you come out on the other side of that and you're a significantly better team, I think that's, that works out great. But I think those are the risks that I think the Padres probably are weighing in what they do or how they go about doing this, because it's clear that they're trying to be as creative as possible. But again, like, that's always, AJ Preller's always willing to talk about anybody on his roster at any given time, except maybe like Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis.
Right. Yeah, fascinating perspective. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, with us right now on Jon and Jim. Deadline just 48 hours away. Padres, appear to be in need of offensive help, even though their offense has been better recently here since the All-Star break. But who are some outfielders that you could see being on the move? And would you tie one or two of those names potentially to San Diego? Who would those names be?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't tied anybody. Like, I don't have any names that I know that they're interested in, but like, and these are not going to be. I think we've had this conversation enough at the deadline to know that I'm not going to throw sexy names at you just to throw sexy names. I think for the most part, the moves that get made are more for role players. The guy who I think is a great fit for them is Mike Tauchman with the White Sox. He gets on base at a really good clip. He's a good corner outfield defender. He would hit at the top of that lineup. One of the things that they have suffered from this year, and with the offense being down, is that there's significantly more chase in that lineup. And Tauchman's a guy that manages the count really well. So I think somebody like him from the left side would make sense. I think if they looked at a DH, I think Ryan O'Hearn from Baltimore, even though his numbers haven't been great over the last 6 weeks or so, I think he would be a really good fit. Again, the guy that knows the difference between a ball and a strike. I think he's a good one. I think Baltimore also has, Ramon Laureano, who's having a great year, more of a right-handed hitter. I would probably prefer him to just play against lefties, but a guy that, has some power and plays with high energy. So those are kind of some of the names that I would be considering, I think, if I were the Padres. But again, we know AJ likes to swing big. If he can't swing big, I'd like to see him, with 2 strikes, cut down and try and send one the other way, metaphorically.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, the trade deadline, on trade deadline day, Mike, there were 32 trades made on that day, the most in baseball history. Over under 32 and a half this year.
Let's see. Well, I mean, reliever palooza just started, right, with the Dominguez trade. Yeah. So it's always there's going to be 20 relievers moved alone, I would think, on Thursday. I'm going to take the under, but I still think it's going to be somewhere in that 25 to 30 range. I think we were talking about this last night on the air and during the Diamondbacks Tigers game that I was doing. And I figured there'd probably be about, there were 3 trades yesterday, 3 to 5 today, 5 to 7 tomorrow. And then I think I said a bazillion on Thursday, but 25 would probably be about right. It just kind of builds to a crescendo, right? So I would think the next couple of days, and mine might be a little bit high on that. Maybe it's 5 to 8 trades total over the next 2 days, but then definitely in that 25 to 30 range. I would think in this week that there's somewhere around 40 to 45 deals made total.
All right, that could all play out over the next 48 hours. A couple more, Mike, before you go. What about Robert Suarez? Mm-hmm. There's been all this talk locally about Dylan Cease. Suarez, a high save total, but a high ERA, a lot of game-tying home run yesterday and a win in the 9th inning. He's free agent eligible if he opts out at the end of the season. Yeah. If you were in AJ Preller's shoes, do you consider moving your closer or not?
Well, I think that's a far more likely scenario than moving Cease, just because it's easier to backfill that position. Sounds like they have interest in some of the Marlins relievers, including Anthony Bednar. They certainly have 2 other all-star relievers in Jason Adam and Adrian Morejon. So you feel like you're dealing from a position of strength. Again, you're going to need to backfill it somewhere else. But, the closer market, obviously the bigger concern is on what happened with Emmanuel Clase with Cleveland when it comes to his administrative leave as it pertains to a gambling investigation. But the practical application for most of the other teams is it took one of the more prominent closer names off the market. I don't know if he was going to get moved or not. Cleveland's really good at trying to figure out exactly what teams are willing to offer and then not making deals. And so I don't know that he would have gotten moved, but if there is in fact one less closer available on the market, it would seem that by pushing Suarez, you could fill some of that void. And he's certainly the most affordable in terms of dollars spent. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I would say that it's probably, in my mind, more likely than Cease getting dealt, just because they have such pitching issues overall. But, I know better than to try and guess exactly what AJ is going to do.
Yeah, you never guess what AJ is going to do, because every time you think he goes the other direction. So,
and thank God for that, right? Because man, if he didn't, we would all be bored out of our mind.
I can tell you what, this here, Mike, he is really fun to cover. It is amazing to cover an AJ Preller led team because of just every direction that he could go and every player that he's in on. The rumor mill is just through the roof. Final one for me, Mike, real quick here. When you look at the Padres, they have the final wild card spot as of right now. The National League kind of bunched up at the top. Where do you put the Padres as far as like in the hierarchy of the National League, even though they're holding the final wild card spot right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think they're as good as the two NL East teams. Last night's win notwithstanding. I don't know that they're. Oh, that's a good. I think they're right there with the Cubs in Milwaukee. I would put them in that group. So, behind the Dodgers, clearly, although the Dodgers have a lot of stuff they got to get figured out. I mean, they're going to out-talent their way through the regular season, but they've got to get healthier for the postseason. I think they're probably in a similar group to like the teams that they're grouped with, right? The Cubs, the Brewers, the Reds, I would put in that mix too. San Francisco's trending in the wrong direction. I still think, like, despite the fact they haven't played well of late, they picked a really bad week to have a bad week. And even with the trade of Naylor and Grichuk, Arizona's still got some talent. And I'm curious to see what they do in the next couple of days. At the very least, they're going to be a pain in the butt, I think, in the last 2 months of the season. I know the Padres did a big series with them shortly after the trade deadline. So I think that's kind of the hierarchy as I would line it up. But I would say mostly they're battling at this point with the Reds for that wild card spot. And then maybe a team like Arizona tries to pull a Tigers. I mean, obviously their playoff odds are going to be better than Detroit's were in the middle of August last year, but that would be the team behind them. And I know from talking to Padres officials earlier this year, like they were really hoping Arizona would sell because they're pretty good and they have a lot of talent. It's just injuries to their pitching staff, and specifically their bullpen, have train wrecked a lot of games for them this season.
Yeah, I mean, their offense has been elite at times. Mike, we appreciate you taking time. We know you're on the call later today. Appreciate you doing it. Enjoy the next couple of days. We'll do it again in the second half of the year, all right?
Yeah, guys, anytime. Sorry I had to run quick today, but always a pleasure being on with you.
All right, Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio. But by the way, one of the trades, or maybe the only trade that's really played out today, the Sir Anthony Dominguez trade between the Blue Jays and the Orioles. I didn't realize the Blue Jays were playing the Orioles. And he went from one clubhouse to the other, and they're playing a doubleheader.
Oh, man.
And he basically switched uniforms between games of a doubleheader and goes from one bullpen to the other. It is that time of year in Major League Baseball. All right, call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see Blues Traveler at Gallagher Square, Petco Park, Saturday, August 16th. This is coming up in a couple of weeks. We have 2 free tickets to see Blues Traveler with Gin Blossoms, also special guest Spin Doctors, Gallagher Square, Petco Park, Saturday, August 16th. If you want those tickets, call right now, 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia, and the winner of trivia gets those tickets. So call right now if you want to play some trivia. The number to call is 877-767-4760. Pick up your phone and call right now. 2 free tickets to see Blues Traveler, 877-767-4760. Trainwreck Radio trivia next. Jon and Jim. All right, if you want to win Blues Traveler tickets and play Rich in trivia, you can call right now because Brian just dropped off line 2. So if you want to play Rich, the caller on line 4 in trivia, call right now, 877-767-4760. We have a good giveaway. It is a pair of tickets to see Blues Traveler with Gin Blossoms and the Spin Doctors at Gallagher Square, Petco Park, Saturday, August 16th. All you need to do is call right now. Again, the number to call is 877-767-4760. So call right now. We see the lines, 877-767-4760, and we will play for those tickets coming up momentarily. Juan Soto has spoken with the media today, and he has been Marty. Very outspoken. Well, Marty's a media member, right?
Well, I don't think he spoke to the.
He just spoke to Marty.
There you go.
That's what happened?
I think.
Okay. Marty's saying that Juan Soto says he's not surprised by the heavy boos at Petco Park. Says Padres fans always root for their players and, quote unquote, they're sad I'm gone. Juan Soto telling Marty in an exclusive that Padres fans always root for their players and they're, quote unquote, sad he's gone.
Are they really, though?
Well, if you look at the replies and the quote tweets to Marty's tweet there, interesting responses. I would say this. If you're one of those people that is F you, Juan Soto, glad you're not here anymore, you're lying to yourself. I'm sorry.
I mean, the guy, here's the thing. You can be two things. Like, you can be a Padres fan and like the team that you have and like your chance in 2024, but you can also recognize that Juan Soto has already won a World Series and appeared in another. He's 26. We don't know if he might get to another. I mean, we don't know how this is going to work out. I mean, Juan Soto is not some proverbial team killer. I mean, it's quite the opposite in his career. I mean, the proof is in his team successes and individual successes. He's 26. The numbers speak for themselves. It did not work out in 2023 here for the team. The team did not play well in 2023. He really wasn't a big factor in that. If anything, he played well while the team played poorly around him. So I get it. He's no longer here. You don't have to be his biggest fan in the world, but I don't really understand some of the vitriol that's come out post Soto. I think a lot of it's just because it coincides with the Padres playing better as a team, but I don't put that on Juan Soto.
I would view it as like, I'm not going to say that. I just think that Padres fans wish that he did what he did with the Yankees last year here in San Diego.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, he did have, when you look at the numbers of 2023, he was the best offensive player on the team. 2022, the trade, it did not go his way in the 2 months after the trade, but he did have some big moments in the postseason. Did he not?
Yeah, he did. Every series.
So having moments in the postseason in 2022, being the best offensive player in 2023, yet everyone turned him into a villain, thinks he sucks, thinks that he didn't do enough for the team. And if he did, then things would have been different in 2023. And he's the main reason why 2023 happened, which I completely disagree with.
I will say this, and we can get to Trainer Radio. I would say in 2023, Jim, he was solid. 930 OPS. It was okay. He was okay. I would say he was okay.
He was all right
with his 930 OPS, which, by the way, would be like the best OPS by a Padre since Fernando Tatis Jr. in 2020.
But hey, keep telling yourself, talking Friars, that Juan Soto's the worst player ever.
Talking Friars.
Keep telling yourself that.
All right, let's play.
Three questions, two contestants, one lifeline. Today's two contestants are Rich and Corey. Rich, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
I'll go with John.
All right, Corey and John.
All right, Corey and John. Rich.
No, Rich and.
Oh, Rich and John. Rich and John. Corey and Jim. Corey, you there?
Let's go, little Jimmy.
Oh,
Little
no.
Jimmy.
Oh, you're disqualified.
Little Jimmy.
Wow.
So sweet.
Oh boy. All right, Brent, what's the question of the day?
There you go. It's like you're our truth all of a sudden.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Did you know that coming into today's action, there are currently 10 active major league pitchers with 110 or more career wins? Today's question: name any of those 10 active major league pitchers with at least 110 or at least 110 or more career wins.
Okay. Corey, you're up first. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I think I'm going to go with Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw. There we go on the list. Rich, you're up next. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'll go with Verlander.
Justin's good
guess, yeah.
There we go. Corey, back to you. What is your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Let's go with Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer.
All right.
Rich, back to you. What's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Go with Yu Darvish.
Yu Darvish. Wow. Good pull
He's
there.
Top 10 active.
He's got 110. He's the last one.
Corey, back to you. Final guess. You do have a lifeline if you want to use it to go 3 for 3. What do you got?
Shoot. That was the one I was going to say. I'm going to have to phone a friend, Big Jimbo.
Oh,
Big
boy.
Jim.
I like how now
Little
they need
Jim
something
to
from
Big
you. Now
Jim.
you're Big Jim.
Yeah, little Jim to Big Jim. I'm going to go with Garrett Cole. Do you take it?
I take it.
Boom,
Good job,
baby.
Jimmy.
Big
Nice.
Jim for the win, potentially.
That's not the win.
I know I said potentially. Rich, to send this thing to overtime, what is your third and final guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Yeah, I'll use it.
I have a name. My level of confidence is 62%. And that name is a veteran pitcher by the name of Zach Wheeler.
Zach
It's a
Wheeler?
little out of left field, but the guy's been really good.
Ooh, is that a final
Well, it's my final
guess?
lifeline.
It's only you can't do multiple. So, do you take that, Rich, or do you have a guess of your own?
Yeah, you know what? The last time I played this, I went against the lifeline and I lost. So I'm gonna go with it. Sounds good.
Oh, we
The
are
other name I would've
going.
said was DeGrom.
DeGrom's a
no
good one.
wins though, right?
Yeah, he doesn't.
How many wins does Jacob DeGrom have? 5? No, I mean, he's got 2
He
with
wouldn't
under
have been on
110.
it.
Wow.
Yeah, wouldn't have been on it.
All right.
All right. So we're going to go to overtime. Brent's going to read the rules of overtime and then the question of overtime. So Brent, take it away.
All right, guys, how overtime is going to work is I'm going to ask you another question. When I am done asking this another question, you will yell out the name of your partner today, either John or Jim. Don't yell out the answer. Whoever yells out the name of your partner first, you are going to either win the game by getting the question right, or you're going to lose the game by getting the question wrong. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
All right, guys, today's overtime question. Who was the starting pitcher for the Padres last night?
John.
I heard John.
All right. What do we got?
Rich.
Oh, I thought John had to answer.
No, you have to answer. Do you know the starting pitcher last night for the Padres?
I think it was. I mean,
5 seconds.
I don't know. I don't know who pitched last night.
Name one. No, that's how it ends. He thought I had to answer it. If I had to answer it, I would have said Dylan Cease.
And you would have been right.
But Corey is the winner.
Congratulations, Corey. Big Corey for the win.
Big Corey and little Jimmy combining
Okay, you
on
know
2
what?
free tickets to see Blues Traveler and Jim Blossoms with special guest Spin Doctors at Gallagher Square, Petco Park, Saturday, August 16th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Now, we only named 6 of these pitchers, I want to say. So 4 more on the list. The most active wins among major league pitchers.
Is Charlie Morton on that list?
That's a good
He
name.
is on the list.
Boom.
There's a couple of pitchers we've been talking about the last week or two for various reasons.
Martin Perez.
No. We faced one of these guys this week.
Oh,
This
yeah,
week.
of course.
Yeah, we did. You're sure right. They did.
They faced them.
And he pitched okay.
Well,
St. Louis?
Yeah. St. Louis.
Who they face?
it's not Mikolas.
No.
It's a color and a type of weather.
I have no idea.
Sunny gray.
Blue ocean.
Yellow
Okay, yeah.
tree.
Yeah, interesting. Sunny gray. All right, who else is on the
All right,
list?
Verlander's number one by quite a bit. He's got 263. Then Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw is number 3. Garrett Cole's 4. Charlie Morton is 5. Chris Sale is number 6. Then Sonny Gray, Carlos Carrasco, and Zach Wheeler are both tied for 8th because they got
Carlos
112.
Carrasco, top 10 active
Interesting.
in career wins. All right, we will get to the wrap on the other side, plus further reaction to Juan Soto and his comments regarding his time in San Diego. Plus, we've got you up to date on everything happening with the trade deadline, which is now 46 hours away, Thursday at 3 p.m. We'll kick off hour 4 with the wrap. We're here until 6 p.m. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Lowe's. Padres Mets game 2 of their 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Ryan Bogaerts on the mound for the Padres. In one trade to report today, Jeff Passan reported it earlier. It is now official. Right-handed pitcher Sir Anthony Dominguez was traded today from the Orioles to the Blue Jays. Lowe's knows saving big on appliances makes a big difference. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get delivery as soon as next day, valid through 7:30. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Exclusions do apply. See lowes.com/delivery for more details.
It's Jon and Jim to warm up that drive home.
Here's what may happen, and I can already see the reaction on social media, and if we're on the air and this happens. Oh, the Padres have traded Dylan Cease to the Astros for 3 people we've never heard of. How could AJ Preller make that trade? And then 22 minutes later, 2 of those 3 players that they acquired for Dylan Cease go to the Yankees.
Yeah, he's not afraid to take prospects back in a trade and then immediately ship them out. So we'll see if he ends up doing that.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim. We're reacting to the upcoming trade deadline, which is 46 hours away, 3 p.m. Pacific on Thursday. Padres to this point quiet. Most of baseball, to be honest, to this point has been quiet.
Everyone's making their final moves and offers before the official moves.
Plenty of time. 46 hours. We do have you covered. Stay with us here today, tonight on the wrap-up show, tomorrow and Thursday as well. We'll get to the wrap momentarily. We will also react to Juan Soto's comments that we shared just a few moments ago related to his time in San Diego. So a lot to get to over the next hour. We typically do this at 4. Let's do this right now.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Could the Padres end up regretting trading Dylan Cease?
Absolutely, they could.
I regret it already. I'm kidding. He's still here.
Yeah, you could absolutely regret it. Sometimes, the saying, sometimes the best trades are the trades you never make.
I like that saying.
You heard that before?
AJ hasn't.
Well, I'm sure there's some trades that he has almost made that he didn't.
I think keeping Merrill in the Soto deal might have been I'm sure they asked on Merrill.
Yeah, I'm sure they were putting Merrill in a bunch of different trade situations before he, made his debut at the big league level last year. Could they regret it? Absolutely, they could.
That's the answer? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
They could regret it. We're talking about real human beings. We're talking about professional sports. There are a lot of factors at play here. Health, performance, acclimation to a new team or staying with an old team, so on and so forth. So, I would bet on Dylan Cease being better than he's been. That's Mike Ferrin's take from earlier today. He's not likely to pitch worse than he has, although there's no guarantee he pitches better. Plus, the Padres might run into starting pitching issues with Darvish and King. So, yes, they could regret it. Stay tuned. Next question.
Should you guys apologize to Xander Bogaerts?
Oh,
I didn't throw myself in there because I didn't say anything.
It's solid.
Apologize for what?
Nice.
Every time that we've criticized Xander Bogaerts, it has been 100% warranted. So with that being said, there's no apology. It's not like I'm sitting here during Xander's hot shots and still saying he sucks. Don't give me that.
I'm not going to. I'm not going down the path. The criticism has been warranted. Our recent praise has been warranted because his play has been much improved over the last 6 weeks. But we've never said anything unfairly about Xander Bogaerts. We're just telling you our opinion based on his performances, which often in a Padres uniform have lacked. That has not been the case for the last 5 or 6 weeks.
And every time after we've criticized Xander, even as recently as social media posts that kind of went viral of us saying that Xander's contract is the worst in franchise history.
Right.
Still stand behind it. Going forward, there's no apology. This is just it's part for the course. When he plays well, we tell you. When he plays bad, we tell you. And that's how it goes here on the Jon and Jim show. We don't sugarcoat. We don't lift our pom-poms up in the air like some other people in this town. We tell you how it is. And when Xander plays well, we tell you. When Xander doesn't play well, we tell you. It's just like it is with every player on this team.
I would like to issue an apology to Xander Bogaerts.
Apologize.
No, I'm not going to apologize, but I would like to recognize that his play has been vastly improved since the middle of June, and let's all hope collectively, if you're for the San Diego Padres, that continues moving forward.
And every time that we've talked about Xander in the past where we've criticized him, what do we say? Go prove us wrong.
Yeah.
Go prove us wrong. Go make us look like idiots. Because
and he has.
What do we know, right? But yeah, go prove us wrong. Make us look like morons. Thank
Next
you, Xander.
question.
Who's going to be the starter this year at quarterback for the Aztecs?
It's a very good question, John. Who do you think is going to be the starter?
Why don't you break down the two possibilities, Jim, without looking at your computer?
I'm not looking at my computer.
Who are the possibilities right now?
I think Denigal is going to be the starting
I
quarterback.
was trying to catch you without knowing their name.
No, Bert Emanuel Jr. I think Denigal has the upper hand just because he would. I mean, Michigan, coming from Michigan, I think that he's got some seasoning. Jim Harbaugh gave a recommendation for him. Like, I am going to go Denigal over Emmanuel.
Well, you can come see these two quarterbacks firsthand. I think you may tomorrow morning, and season ticket holders can as well.
We'll see how it feels.
Oh, he's backing out on the I'm going to make it to Aztec practice tomorrow for their fall camp opener. I will be there, and I'll let you know how they look. We'll see Jaden Denigal, the Michigan transfer, is out of Southern California. We'll see Bert Emanuel Jr., his dad. I mean, his dad was basically, remember when I said Bert Emanuel was like the greatest player ever, and you're like, who? His dad. Remember the whole Bert Emanuel conversation?
Yeah, I didn't know who Bert Emanuel was, okay?
That's like basically.
I'm sorry.
Like, you're like Baba Ruth? I'm like, no, babe.
You looked at me like I had three heads. You're like, are you serious? You don't know who Bert Emanuel is?
I mean, it's the equivalent of
My
me not
bad.
knowing like who a stormtrooper is.
My bad. I don't know many 36-year-olds that would be like, oh, yeah, Bert Emanuel. Absolutely.
It's fair. I don't know many 36-year-olds, but I know you.
You know me.
I know you. Anyway, Bert Emanuel Jr. is a terrific athlete. His dad played at SC. He actually played at San Diego State, like as an opponent. But anyway, I think it'll be a good competition. I think maybe Jaden Denigal enters camp with a leg up. I think both will be utilized. I think both will play a role in the Aztecs offense this upcoming year. Next question.
Will Manny Machado win the batting title this year?
The batting title?
Batting title.
Like hit for the highest batting average in the National League?
Like hit for the highest batting average in the National League.
Can you give me the top handful right now, Jim, in the National League in terms of batting average and where Manny would fit in?
I can.
All right.
So I'll give you the top. I'll give you the top five. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Xavier Edwards right now is hitting 292.
Okay.
All right. Sal Frelick is hitting 295.
Okay.
Freddie Freeman's hitting 296. Kyle Stowers in 299, and leading the National League right now in batting average is Manny Machado with a 302 batting average.
302 leads the National League in July.
Yeah, that's
what the hell happened to hitting? Seriously, 302?
Aaron Judge leads all baseball with a 342 average. The American League,
who's
kind of better than
the top
National
five? What are the top five in terms of average?
342, 322, 315, 312.
Okay, so there's at least a handful of hitters that have hit better than 302 in Major League Baseball, but that is shocking to me.
If Manny was in the American League, he would be seventh.
Okay, but I mean, that's shocking to me. There's only 7 hitters in baseball hitting 302 or better, and only 1 in the National League.
A batting title.
I mean,
for
that's
Manny
crazy.
would be ridiculous.
But he could win a batting title then by hitting under 300.
And by the way, a four-peat is in play for Luis
Arise.
Arise.
I was about to say, what is he? 12 points off? 13 points?
He's 10 points off. He's hitting 292 right now, which is tied for 5th in the National League.
Like, it's kind of, we're at the point where it's like hard to criticize someone for hitting 230 when 230 is like the 12th best average in baseball. Like, it's hard to hit. Like, if 292, we're like Luis Arise down here. He's going to win a batting title hitting 296 or like 298. That's crazy to me.
Right now, Xander Bogaerts is 26th in batting in the National League.
He's got the 26th best average
in the National League.
Apologize. I'm kidding.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. 302 leads the National League. That is unbelievable to me. I mean, Machado, with his consistency, Jim, he could absolutely hit within 5 points of that. He could absolutely hit 297, 298, somewhere in that range, 300. So he could win a batting title.
Now, Will Smith.
Yeah.
He has a 321 average right now, but he doesn't have enough at bats to qualify.
Gotcha.
He only has 277 at bats this year, which is kind of crazy.
That's super low. So I don't know if he would qualify if he were able to play more in the second half. I don't think he'll qualify, maybe.
I don't think he would. Or in comparison, Manny Machado this year has 411 at bats.
Right. So
I don't know what the number is to qualify, but
3.1 plate appearances times 162.
Oh, I can't do that.
I think.
You can't. I'm the wrong
How
person
many?
to do that.
Yeah, I think it is. How many plate appearances to qualify? To qualify for, you know what? Here's a little known fact. I'm gonna blow Jim's mind.
Okay.
It's 3.1 times 162, which is 502.
Sure.
But here's the thing that might be mind blowing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you, Jim, are hitting 320. You won't even understand this. I can't wait to share this with you. Maybe you will.
Hold on. Okay,
Let's say you're hitting
close
320.
attention to this.
You're hitting 320.
I'm hitting 320.
You don't qualify.
I don't qualify.
I'm hitting 300. I'm the second best hitter in the league.
You're hitting 300.
I qualify.
You qualify.
Who's the batting champion? I qualify. You don't. Who's the batting champion?
You are.
Not so fast.
What?
If you take an offer to 502 plate appearances for the player ahead of the other player, and if that offer still has a batting average higher than the next best player, you're the batting champion. Mind blowing, right?
What?
So if you had 500 plate appearances and you were too shy and you're 320, took an 0 for 2, and now you were still at 318, you're higher at 0 for 2 at 318 than I am at 300.
Yeah, but what if Will Smith has like 170?
Then he can't take an offer because then he'd be 0 for 170.
So
and
he's got to be right up.
If he's within like 10 AB.
See, I'm thinking of like Will Smith compared.
Right.
I
I'm
understand
saying if
that.
he gets to within, hey, he's 13 plate appearances shy of qualifying, and he takes no for 13, and it's higher than someone else, then he's technically the batting champion.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Can't do it in pitching though, because there's no such thing as going 0 for as a pitcher. You could allow unlimited runs in 0.0 innings, but you can go 0 for as a batter. The more you know, what you're learning on the Jon and Jim show. All right, let's react to what Juan Soto had to say about his time in San Diego. On the other side, we're here until 6 p.m. Stay with us, Jon and Jim. San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we all remember that one teacher made a difference, who believed in us, challenged us, just made learning fun. Now's your chance to say thank you in a big way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate outstanding public school teacher who's gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. I was going to say something, but I won't.
Say it.
Related to teachers and gym. I'm not going to say.
Did I have a favorite teacher? Did I go to school? Do I know what a teacher is?
School? I'm kidding.
Do you know what a teacher looks like?
No, I'm kidding. I wasn't going to say that. By the way, just real quick, like just for fun, like look at the batting averages of batting champs. Just like scrolling through, right? I mean, look at this.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right? 350s, 370s, 340s, 360s. And then we're like, what? Like even 2 years ago, Rice hit 354.
When's the last player to hit sub 300 to win a batting title, if that's ever happened?
I'll say never. That's what I was looking up. In the National League, the answer is going to be never.
What's the lowest batting average to win a batting title?
I'd have to do a little bit of a deep dive, or I could just ask Google.
You can ask Google.
Ask Google that. Ask Google that.
Lowest batting average.
Nap LaJoie in 1901 hit 426.
Oh, man, that was a good year for
Remember
him.
that?
I do remember that year.
But like, yeah, has anyone ever hit under 300?
The lowest batting average to win a batting title in MLB history is 301.
Who was it?
It doesn't tell me.
I'm just curious.
Hold on.
Can I do Control F or whatever?
Oh, Carl Yastrzemski.
Hit 301 and won a batting title.
In 1968. Was known as the year of the pitcher.
Yeah.
Carl Yastrzemski, Yaz, for the Boston Red Sox.
Boston.
That was an awful attempt at a
terrible
Boston accent. I apologize. Won the batting title with a 301 average. He is the only player that year to have a batting average over 300. To this day, it's still the lowest batting average to ever win a batting title.
That's
and
insane.
Manny Machado right now, it leads the league with a 302 average.
Tweet that out. Pete Rose that year in the National League hit 335, by the way.
What year? 68?
68. In the National League.
Oh, National League. Okay, yeah.
So that was in the American League. The Yaz hit 301. All right, I want to get back to this because we're waiting on AJ. Like, do something, AJ. Even though the Padres are doing things, they've won 3 straight. And they're going to turn tonight.
Do something, AJ.
Just do something.
You're playing better. You won a game last night. You walked it off,
but we don't care.
Do something.
Do something more. What I want to react to is what Marty says Juan Soto said, and this is pregame prior to game 2. The quote from Soto is: Soto says he's not surprised by the heavy boos at Petco Park. Says Padres fans always root for their players, and they're quote unquote they're sad I'm gone. I mean, maybe it's an interesting way to phrase things. They're sad I'm gone. Here's what I would say too: if you get booed across Major League Baseball, it means you're one of the preeminent stars. Manny Machado gets booed throughout baseball. Fernando Tatis Jr. has gotten booed throughout baseball, although I think Machado takes on more than Tati. You're getting booed in baseball. You're a star in baseball. That's who Juan Soto is. We can rehash the past if we want. He's going to get booed here. He's going to get booed elsewhere. I'm sure he gets booed in D.C., probably at Yankee Stadium. Juan Soto's going to be in the Hall of Fame with all the votes in 100 years or whenever he goes in.
Yeah. It's like the hate for Bob Melvin. Now, that's a little more warranted because of what Bob said on his way out.
Right. Always dreamed of being in that dugout with the Giants.
Looking over that dugout, I just wanted to be over there.
That dugout's so nice.
Yeah, but he is the only manager since 98 to lead the team to an NLCS.
True.
Anyway, I digress. And he had back-to-back winning seasons. Now, Shildt could do that this year with the team. Back-to-back winning seasons.
Well, Juan Soto's one of the only 26 players on an active roster in the postseason to be in an NLCS since 98.
Yep. And and World Series and
yeah. But I mean, even in San Diego, he was in the National League Championship Series too. In San Diego, he was on that team.
Yeah,
he gets credit.
The whole Juan Soto conversation, I get it. It's fandom.
Yep.
I can remove myself very easily from that and look at it objectively. Very easy for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a fan that hates Juan Soto, I get it. It's fandom. You're a fanatic. You don't like Juan Soto because Juan's right. I'm not on your team, and Padres fans root for their players. But when a player leaves, more often than not, Padres fans hate that player, even if there is no justification for the hate. most every player that leaves here, that's a high profile name player. If they leave here, F that guy.
I think you're right. I do think it's most. I don't think it's all.
It's not all, no.
Like someone like a Will Myers, like someone like if Yu Darvish finished his career elsewhere, I think would remain a very popular figure.
Perfect example. Once Dylan Cease leaves,
he'll be vilified.
F Dylan Cease.
Well, Blake Snell. I mean, he was F Blake Snell when he was here, and he was Cy Young.
Eric Hosmer, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, but that is. I do think that's just product of being a fan often. Yeah. Here's the caveat. Whoever's winning a World Series here, if we live to see that day, those players will be remembered differently. I think if you are Jurickson Profar, by the way, is a beloved player, even though he's no longer here. Like he's going to get you. And so there are guys with the Will Myers, the Jurickson Profars. And I do think like if you're a significant role player on a team that guides the Padres to a World Series or wins one, shoot, they've never won one, but the 98 team and the 84 team are looked fondly on or of. I think you win a World Series, that'll change. But yeah, it's like he came here and the expectation was to win the World Series. I remember the day he was traded here. Sky was the limit. They didn't reach the sky, right? It's like the old saying, like you shot for the...
They almost got there.
You shot for the stars, you landed on the moon. But yeah, they played well, but the expectation was to win it all. They didn't. So he takes on a lot of that blame. The heavy is the head that wears the crown. He's taken that on. I don't think it's fair either. And he didn't ask to be traded. He didn't say that offseason, like, if I am back in San Diego, that is the worst. Like, imagine that. There's been players in the history of sports. I mean, go back to like Eli Manning, right? Locally. There have been players that have put feet down and be like, I'm not playing there. Yeah. That wasn't him. He got traded. That's part of sports.
Yeah. If Peter Seidler signed into a $500 million contract at the time, would anybody be like, oh, I hate Juan Soto?
No, exactly. And like, imagine if, right. It's so, I feel like the conversation is different if there was animosity during the player's tenure with like the fan base or the front office. That wasn't the case.
No, there wasn't. He wasn't here. He was only here for a season and a half, 1.5 seasons. Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
I like it.
I had something and I'm like, you know what? Just screw it, Jim. 525, just have your brain go out the window.
I do like it. Yeah, anyway, I don't even know why. We're talking about him because he's here. We're talking about him because he's a star. Mm-hmm. We're talking about him because he's relevant to the franchise.
You ask every single general manager in baseball, all 30 of them.
Yeah, would you take them?
Take the money out of the equation. Would you want Juan Soto on your team? Guess what? Every single general manager would say yes.
Right. Now you put the money in the equation and you're ruling him out from most teams.
Right. But I'm just talking about the player.
Yep.
Take the money out of the equation. The player. Would you want the player, Juan Soto, on your baseball team? 100%.
Absolutely.
And if you say no, then you're just hating. But I get it.
I wish we got another year, truthfully, with him. I mean, I liked watching. Don't get me wrong. The 2024 season was great. I would have liked to see that 2024 team and everything that they accomplished with Juan Soto. That wasn't realistic because of the return they got for Soto, but I would have liked to see him another year in a Padres uniform. All right, Padres and Mets tonight. Sean Manaea, old friend, on the mound against the Padres tonight.
Hate him.
In game 2 of this role, he was terrible, actually.
He was.
On his way out the door. And
he told everybody that he was lazy.
He did, and he's kind of renewed his career on the other side of his time in San Diego. We're getting you ready for tonight, plus Jim's back page here until 6. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is Jon and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and now open the hotel and spa at Jamul. The next level of luxury has arrived. Treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
We know a little something about winning Best of San Diego awards. So does Jamul Casino. And thanks to your votes, their hotel, restaurants, rooftop, and incredible team members were once again highlighted by the San Diego Union Tribune. When you're ready to taste victory, go check out Where to Go.
Also, Thursday, August 7th, join them for Thursday drawings, a guaranteed $30,000 in cash prizes. Earn entries daily for your chance to win. Plus, stay for the excitement of Latin night afterward at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, this update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres and Mets, game 2 of their 3-game series at Petco Park tonight. 6:40 first pitch. Ryan Bogaerts on the mound for the Pods tonight. And one trade in baseball to report today. Jeff Passan reported it earlier. It's now official. The Blue Jays acquired Orioles right-handed reliever Sir Anthony Dominguez. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Jim's back page coming up. We'll have a wrap-up show tonight that will follow game 2 of a 3-game series between the Mets and the Padres. Padres looking for a 4th consecutive win following 4 consecutive losses. And again, the way they did it yesterday was impressive, coming all the way back from 5-1 down to win in walk-off fashion 7-6. What have we learned today? We've learned that obviously Bogaerts is up to start. Stephen Kolek has been optioned down. Michael King will make a rehab start in AAA either Saturday or Sunday. In addition to that, what else have we learned today? Something else. Oh, well, Dylan Cease is a primary target of the Houston Astros. I mean, that's where we started the show.
And Jon Heyman is reporting this: the biggest names likely to be traded at the deadline, according to Jon Heyman. Luis Robert Jr.,
okay,
Charlie Morton, Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, Eugenio Suarez, Stephen Kwan, and Dylan Cease.
Okay.
So according to Jon Heyman, those are the, quote, biggest names.
Some names
that will likely be traded at the deadline. It's not there's no Juan Soto in there, but those are some significant names, some all-stars in there.
Definitely
some good pitchers.
Suarez of the Diamondbacks, who was hit on the hand yesterday, but X-rays negative, has put together an unbelievable.
Well, Stephen Kwan was an all-star this year as well, too.
Suarez, from a pure power hitting perspective, right? Mid-30s home runs.
If he keeps getting hit on the hand, then that might be a problem. But
it's happened like twice in a week.
Yeah,
All-Star game and then again yesterday.
Well, I think he's out of the line tonight for the D-backs,
which is smart. I would just sit him until the trade deadline. If I was Arizona, what if he got hurt? Yeah, so that's interesting because those are significant names, and from a Padres perspective, they've been linked to a few of them. I mean, Juan clearly, maybe one of those pitchers that you mentioned, and then Dylan Cease, of course, is on San Diego. He could be on the move. It's still at ESPN.com. I mean, I read Jeff Passan today. They still list Cease at under 50-50 that he's moved. So I don't know if it's a formality or not, because, I mean, again, we've gone back and forth on it, but they still have it at ESPN where he's got a 25% chance of being moved. They have Robert Suarez right now at a 50% chance of being moved. But the latest reporting from The Athletic is like, hey, the Astros are honing in on Dylan Cease. They're dealing with injuries. They want to acquire Dylan Cease. We'll see if that happens or not. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Right?
For that.
Read me the names again of those players that John Heyman said, because I missed some of the pitchers.
Stephen Kwan, Dylan Cease, Eugenio Suarez, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Charlie Morton, Luis Robert Jr.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like enamored by some of the. Again, you trade Dylan Cease. I'm like, well, who are you getting back? I mean, some of these pitchers like Zach Gallen this year has been awful. Charlie Morton's 41. You know, it's not like if you trade away Cease, you're getting a comparable starter. Yes, I know he has struggled, but are you really getting a comparable starter in this hypothetical? Like Charlie Morton, if you land him, and maybe they do, has a 5.42 ERA and a 1.56 WHIP. To translate that, Jim, he's been awful. Like, you think Cease has been bad, add another run, right? Add another base runner every 2 innings. Like, so again, that remains my concern. The idea that, well, you can just find additional starting pitching. Okay. I trust them in that.
That's why maybe going out and getting multiple relievers for like less cost maybe might work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can piece it together, and King comes back healthy, and Darvish, knock on wood, makes the start every 5th day, and Nick Pivetta is pitching well. Look, it's not crazy to think if you trade Dylan Cease, you go out and get a couple relievers that you could, if you make the postseason, and I know it's a long ways away, but that you could throw out a bullpen game in the postseason. It's been done before, as recently as last year against the Darvish, you against the Dodgers.
YOU against the Dodgers.
Yeah, Dodgers. How many bullpen games did they have in the postseason last year?
A few.
Yeah,
including Game 4 at Petco.
Yep,
when they combined on a shutout,
right?
Because the Padres, as we know, didn't score for the last 24
innings.
It's
not as traditional as it used to be, where you need 4 starters. Don't get me wrong. You had 4 solid starters. You feel pretty good about yourself. That's how the Padres felt going into the postseason last year, and then everything flipped on its head when Joe tore his elbow.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that was a huge moment. Of course, it doesn't change the offensive issues, but it does feel like that was a huge moment.
And like now looking back, you kind of wish that they went bullpen game in Game 4, you know? But yeah, it's revisionist history, neither here nor there. So you can do it. You can be successful doing it as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, shoot, we saw with the Padres firsthand. You're going back a few years, but they threw a bullpen game against St. Louis in the postseason in 2020, combined to what, send 9 or 10 relievers? 9 or 10 relievers combined to shut out the Cardinals, maybe? Something like that.
It was
Craig Stammen game?
Yeah, it was the Craig Stammen game. It was a record.
Yeah.
It was against Mike Shildt, Cardinals.
And it was 9 or 10 relievers, right?
Yeah.
And again, that was the COVID year. But you're right. You don't listen, if you want to lean heavier into your strong bullpen, I'm all for it. And I completely agree with you. I think that there is a likelihood that the Padres can find themselves in the postseason. We all agree on that. They have work to do, but they can find themselves in the postseason. And if you want to have the best bullpen in the sport again, go ahead and do it. Like, if that's your strategy to go out and potentially get to a World Series or even win one, I understand the strategy. I thought they came close to executing on the strategy a year ago. Their bullpen was their true strength. I thought their offense a year ago heading into the postseason was better than this offense right now, but I'm all for leaning heavier into their bullpen. And by the way, leaning heavier into the bullpen to me probably means keep Robert Suarez, not necessarily trade him away. But if you can add a player of his caliber, or maybe more than one player of his caliber, maybe that makes sense as well. So stay tuned. You know what we haven't even mentioned today, unless I've missed it?
What?
San Diego FC tonight.
La Liga? No.
No, they're not
Sorry,
going to be
no,
playing
not
in
La Liga.
Spain.
What?
But Leagues Cup,
Cup
is tonight
yeah.
at
I was like,
Snapdragon.
what?
Is that in your updates? Where is that in my liners? It just came across my timeline.
Well, we're not carrying the match, are we? Unless something changed.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're not carrying the match.
Either way,
what?
There was nothing not to know.
Either way, I'm being told it's a big match. Snapdragon Stadium, Leagues Cup. Chucky against his childhood club, Pachuca. And yeah, okay.
We also do not have a SDFC midweek live show on Wednesday.
Okay. So we'll have to just watch this, right?
The next game that you can hear on San Diego Sports 760 is, where is it? Saturday, August 9th against Kansas City.
All right. So their next three are Leagues Cup group stage matches.
Mm-hmm.
And their next MLS match will be August 9th. San Diego FC, when they resume play, will be in first place in the Western Conference with 9 matches remaining. 9 matches remaining. They will be in first place in the Western Conference, overcoming injury, overcoming the loss of players via loan as well. They have a 1-point lead in the Western Conference over Vancouver, a 2-point lead in the West over Minnesota. What a year. See if they can finish it off. Imagine finishing off your first ever season in first place in the Western Conference. It's at least in play with 9 to play.
That would, I think, be a successful year.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good year.
First year, finished first place in the Western Conference.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you'd want you'd want more once you get into the postseason at that point. But shoot, it's kind of crazy that it's playing out. We said it after like 10 matches. Oh, they're good. Said after like 15. Oh, they're good. Oh, now they're better. And they keep, it's crazy. They've been in first place for probably the better part of the last month or two.
They're one of the best teams in MLS.
Yeah. So we'll see if that continues. And again, they have a Leagues Cup group stage match tonight at Snapdragon Stadium, I believe starting at 8 p.m. But you're not going to find it here. But you will find them here the next time MLS play resumes, August 9th.
Their win against Nashville over the weekend, you could argue that's probably one of their best wins of the year.
Because Nashville had more points than them coming in, right?
Nashville did. They
still do.
At the time, were second place in the Eastern Conference. They've gone all the way down to third in the Eastern Conference. But they're one of the best teams in MLS, and to kind of, measuring stick match, right?
Measuring stick. Love that.
They performed well, and their all-stars definitely led the way with like no time to prep as a team for that week because they were gone for the MLS All-Star game, and then they returned on Thursday, and then you have a match on Friday. And without those 3 guys, you don't win that match.
Right. Yeah. And to their credit, they did find a way to win at home, and they have been good at home, and they finished that homestand again with a win, a draw, and a loss. All right, we'll get to Jim's back page on the other side, getting you ready for Padres and Mets coming up tonight at 6:40. We're here until 6 p.m. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. 4-hour show, no trades. Story of the last month. But there will be some over the next 45 hours, presumably, involving the San Diego Padres. Presumably, trade deadline is Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific. We'll be with you tonight for a wrap-up show. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Of course, Thursday at 2 p.m. as well, right here on San Diego Sports 760. And tonight, the Padres will seek a 4th consecutive win. What an atmosphere last night. A 3.5-hour game, walk-off winner, Elias Diaz in front of 45,000 or whatever the number was. And Padres playing well last night, reminiscent of 2024 in the second half as well. We'll see if that continues here tonight. And then tomorrow, when we're on the air tomorrow, the game is it's an afternoon game, isn't it? Awesome.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Right?
It's a 110 start.
Make a trade.
Make a trade. Make a trade. Make a trade. 2 p.m.
Right?
trade.
Make a trade tomorrow during the game. AJ, be a man.
AJ's like, 601 trade.
601 trade. Exactly.
601 trade.
No. We want a 2 p.m. trade. All right. So again, tonight, wrap-up show tomorrow at 2 p.m. Padres and Mets coming up. And right now, let's get to this.
Thursday, John, which is also
Thursday.
trade deadline day.
Yeah.
You can head over to Chipotle because in honor of National Avocado Day, wow, it's an avocado.
Okay.
He doesn't. Yeah.
That's what it is?
Never mind. Chipotle is giving away free guac.
Dude, if Brent doesn't get it, then the reference isn't going to fly.
All right. There's a viral video that happened years ago of a little kid getting a present for, I think it was either Christmas or his birthday. And it was an avocado wrapped in wrapping paper. And he opened it and he was like, wow, it's an avocado.
I mean,
thanks.
was this Charlie Bit My Finger viral or just like you watched it on TikTok?
Look it up on YouTube.
There's a lot of things on YouTube.
Type in
Charlie Bit My Finger.
No, not Charlie Bit My Finger.
Charlie has horrible parents. Who would give a child an avocado as a gift?
What would I type in?
Avocado kid gets avocado as a present.
That doesn't even come up.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that first one.
Boy gets avocado for Christmas. 1 million views. Wow. So viral. All right. Anyway.
1.1 million views. I mean, come on, man.
1 million views on the internet, dude.
Bro, we would die for 1 million
But
views.
we had 100K on this Lucky Box thing. Are we
I know we
1/10
did.
viral that you're going to reference it?
Oh my gosh.
Boston? 9 years ago, a video got 1 million views. All right, carry on.
Chipotle Rewards members can get one free side or entree topping of guacamole with their purchase of any regular price entree. Just order through the Chipotle app or website and apply promo code AVO2025 at checkout. So you can get free avocado or free guacamole with your order. What are you doing?
I'm saying, does anyone know what you was talking about in the YouTube chat?
No one knows what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I just asked.
Wow,
Right,
it's an
free
avocado. You got to pull this up, Brandon. Wow, it's an avocado.
I don't know.
Oh, my
All right.
goodness. Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Very viral.
Very viral. They get 1 million views a lot.
Yes.
Apparently, John doesn't think 1 million views is going viral.
9 years ago to get 1 million views, to then reference it on a San Diego sports talk radio show is a bit of a leap of faith.
Come on, there are a lot of people out there that would understand that reference. Maybe not.
70470 started with.
I mean, come on, man.
I'm just saying. You think there's a lot of people that get that reference? Let's see if that's true. What do you have? Continue on.
So Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, I know the bananas.
They'll be here in San Diego in September.
Okay.
They have just struck a deal with TNT Sports to broadcast 19 games on True TV and HBO Max, including the first ever Banana Ball Tour Championship in October.
They're everywhere, man.
So if you are not going to the Savannah Bananas game at Petco Park, you can watch on True TV or HBO Max when they play in San Diego on September 6th.
How they accomplished
and
what
the
they
5th,
accomplished,
by the way,
man.
too.
That is so. It's honestly crazy how that is even played out. It's such a short period of time from a little independent team to like taking the world by storm. It's like the next iteration, the bigger iteration of the Harlem Globetrotters in 2025. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That story is insane.
Yeah, it looks like a fun night out. Looks like a fun time.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if I'll devote my time to watching it on television, but if I was at the game, that'd be fun to go to.
I mean, they've done a remarkable job.
Reese's and Oreos, John. They're partnering up to bring new Oreo and Reese cookies and cups to stores near you in September.
What's new?
Well, an Oreo cookie filled with Reese's peanut butter and Oreo crumbs. You have a Reese's Oreo, I guess, cup.
Okay.
Because we get those all the time in the vending machine over here.
Good.
And also they have Reese Oreo mini cups.
Mini cups, like little ones.
You know those mini
those are good.
Reese's
Like
cups, right?
Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. Yeah. So now it's going to be Reese's and Oreos together. This sounds delicious, and I want all of it. I'll take every single one. I'll take 100 right now. Give me all of the Reese's and Oreo combination things you possibly can get.
You want more than 100.
My two favorite, probably my two favorite desserts.
Okay.
Or like snack desserts.
Yeah.
Like give me an Oreo and some milk. Give me a Reese's cup. Boom. I'm good. Loving life.
I like it.
There we go. And finally, this just came in moments ago. So there was a massive earthquake recently in Russia. And right now, there is a tsunami warning in effect.
No, is it tsunami warning or watch? It's a difference.
Sorry, tsunami watch.
Okay.
My bad. Not a warning, but a tsunami watch in effect for the entire West Coast of the United States. So if you live on the
West
ocean,
Coast? Yeah.
or on the West Coast, close to the ocean, there's a tsunami watch in effect. The coast from California all the way down to the Mexican border, all the way up to Oregon.
And this is coming from, I'm just looking right now, like at the UT.
Well, right now, the OC, I just looking at this post right now. Orange County has announced the OC scanner, which is like a public safety, national security hotline or like account. Reports are coming in that a tsunami watch has been issued for the entire Pacific coast of the United States after an 8.7 magnitude earthquake of the Russian Pacific coast.
Crazy.
So this includes all of Southern California. So if you live on the coast, there's a tsunami watch in effect.
All right, that is good information to share.
Because you live in Del Mar and I live in Imperial Beach.
Could be the last show.
And don't say that.
It could be the last show, regardless of the tsunami.
Well, if it
watch.
is, well, that too. If it is going to be the final show, can we make a trade tonight?
Then do you think I was going to say, do you think Dylan Cease gets traded or not? Because we're not going to have a chance to comment on it.
Yeah.
If this is the last show, I'll say with 100% certainty, I don't know if Dylan Cease is going to be traded or not.
We'll find out.
Stay tuned. All right, join us tonight for a wrap-up show. I don't even know what I'm reacting to right now. All right, join us tonight for a wrap-up show. Back tomorrow at 2 p.m. where we will recap Padres and Mets. When the game goes final, you hear from Mike Shildt and, of course, the latest on the trade deadline. If you missed anything today, sportsst.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. Back tomorrow, too. For Brennan, Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.